Hey everyone, it's time for my full arena card review of the cards in Ashes of Outland, as well as the Demon Hunter Initiate cards. All of the reviews are for arena only, so if you're looking for constructed views, you're going to have to go somewhere else. And I'm going to rate the cards from 1 to 5, with 5 being the best, and 1 being the worst card, completely unplayable. Let's get started with the Demon Hunter Initiate cards. Let's go. The first card is Blur. At the start of this review, it was the first time I'd seen this card. But we've done this a few different takes, so now this is about the 5th time I've seen it. And I can tell you every time, it's awful. It's just not good. There's very few times you're going to want to pay a whole card for this effect. It can save you some damage, but I mean, how useful is that to pay a whole card for? It's only on your turn, not on your opponent's next turn, so it's no ice block-like effect. It's just bad. I already have the 1 up here, and that's totally how I feel about this card. It's a 1. All right. On to the next one. Twin Slice. 0 mana, give your hero +1 attack this turn, add a second slice to your hand. So this is pretty flexible. If you think about the Demon Hunter, some people might not even know what the Demon Hunter is. So the Demon Hunter is a new class coming to Hearthstone. I mean, this is the first time since not the expansion, since Hearthstone came out that we had a new class. And they have a 1 mana hero power that is give your hero 1 attack this turn. So obviously 1 mana, quite a bit different. And it means that these cards that also buff the attack that are cheap work very well with the class, because if you think about it, you can do 1 mana, your hero power plus this, and you get 2 attack. And it adds a second slice to your hand. I don't know if there's a link to the second one, but it's just basically the same effect, but not adding a second slice to your hand. I think this card is quite good. Tempo is really important in Arena. Backstab has always been a super premium card. How good is it? You do have to take the damage, but I would say it's like it's either a 3.5 or a 4. I'm going to say it's a 4. I'm going to say it's a 4. I think it's quite good. It's between a 3.5 and a 4. All right. Battle Fiend. 1 mana 2/2. After hero attacks, gain +1 attack. It's funny. I remember when, there was no such thing as 1 mana 2/2s. It just in general, right? Like, we had the Druid one, the 1 mana 2/2 beast, but that was very rare. And now in the previous expansion, we have just a neutral common 1 mana 2/2, and now we have a 1 mana 2/2 with upside, which again works really well with the Demon Hunter hero power. This card is really nutty. Even if you don't get any synergy with the hero power, it's already good. I would say this is, if I gave the last card a 4, I would say this is a 4.5. Yeah, let's go with 4.5. But yeah, I mean, it's the power level of the Demon Hunter, basic classic cards is so high that they might need to change some of the other classes. But anyhow, we'll see what they do with it. Next one, Consume Magic. 1 mana, silence an enemy minion, outcast, draw card. So this is the first time that we've seen the outcast mechanic. What outcast means is that if this card is played from the far right or the far left of your hand, so you think outcast, far away, then you get an additional effect. So worst case, it's 1 mana silence an enemy minion. Best case, you get a silence plus a card draw. And if you get that, it's quite good. I think on average, it's just an okay card, because silence is something that you don't really want to have to hold. You're going to have a turn where you want to silence, and you're just going to use it. And it's still okay in that case, because if you need a silence, it's cheap. It gets a job done, but I don't think it's great. I would say this card is I'm going to go with a 2.5. It's between a 2.5 and a 3. I'm just kind of comparing it to like Silence too. 0 mana, Silence. Here you pay 1 more mana to sometimes draw a card. I think 2.5 is fair. All right, Mana Burn. 1 mana. Your opponent has 2 fewer mana crystals next turn. Very interesting card. I think this card is going to be more applicable, like more relevant in Constructed than Arena. It's one of those things where you don't know how... Like, in Constructed, you would know, okay, this is the power turn where this card's going to come out. But in Arena, you don't know if they're going to have the card that you're thinking about, right? Whether it's a Flame Strike or maybe a Tyrant or whatever. If I'm playing, I know they always have a Tyrant, so it might be better for me. Ha 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 ha. But seriously, I don't think it's very good. I'm gonna say it's a 1.5. 1.5. All right. Next, Urzel Horror. 1 mana, 2/1. It's got the demon tag. Death Rattle, add a 2/1 Lost Soul to your hand. 2/1 Lost Soul. And I don't know if it's on here, but I'm guessing the 2/1 Lost Soul is just a generic 2/1. Is that correct? Is that right? It's just like a 2/1 with no tag. Anyways, I'm gonna. Oh, it's under related cards. Related cards. What do you mean related cards? Where's related cards? I mean related. This is too much work. Where's related? Huh? Where? Click the card. Urzel Horror. Related cards. Death Rattle. Oh. Okay. I didn't know you could just hover it there. Okay. All right. But at least I was right about what it was. It is a 1 mana 2/1 with no effect. Okay. He did not know. So how good is a 1 mana 2/1 that adds another 2/1 to your hand? I think it's pretty solid. Because if you think about 1 mana 2/1s, part of the reason they're only okay is that it's a lot to pay a card for if it doesn't have an effect. But this card kind of reminds me of the Paladin card. I forget the name of it, but the 3/1 that gives you 2 2/1s in your hand, and they both cost 1 mana. That card is just quite good and quite annoying to deal with. Yeah, maybe it's like a better version of Jar. Yeah, Sand Wasp Queen, that's what I'm thinking of. So I like it. I would say this is like a 3.5. I think it's quite good. It's between a 3 and a 3.5. Alright, Blade Dance. 2 mana, deal damage to your hero's attack. Deal damage equal to your hero's attack to 3 random enemy minions. So in the worst case, it's 3 mana, because your hero power is 1 mana, Arcane Explosion, right? I guess that's not the worst case, because maybe they'll have more than 3 cards, but with the amount of extra attack buffs, I don't think it's terrible, right? We already saw some of them, and AoE is fairly premium. I'm going to guess this card is pretty good. Like, I don't think it's going to be that hard to pull off. I think it's like an average-ish card. Let's go with a 3. It really depends on how often you get these damage buffs, but I don't think it's terrible because worst case you can just hero power and use it, and it's not that expensive. So, okay, next one, Feast of Souls. 2 mana, draw a card for each friendly minion that died this turn. So we haven't seen them yet, but there are definitely cards that support this type of a card. Like there's swarming minions that you can use with it. So if you draw 2, it's pretty decent, right? 2 mana draw 2 is quite good. And how hard is it going to be to get that effect? The problem is if you can't kill off anything, it's garbage, right? Because like if you can't just use it to get a card or something. Like at least with Warrior with Battle Rage, if you're behind and you just need to draw, you can always draw one because your face is damaged. So I actually don't think this is going to be that great in Arena. I think it will sometimes be insane and sometimes be awful. So I'm going to say it's a 2.5. I think it's... and, I mean, obviously Cult Master is an okay card, but it's not like Cult Master is insane. It's easier to use than Cult Master, but yeah, I don't think it's great. All right. Umberwing. Look, guys, I know how to go to related cards now. Learning review. 2 mana, 1/2, Battlecry, summon 2 1/1 Fellwings. So 2 mana, 1/2 weapon, and you summon 2 tokens. Pretty good. Like, really good. And these are the tokens. They actually have the demon tag. Yeah, it kind of reminds you of things like Muster for Battle, right? Comes down 1 turn earlier than Muster. You get 1 less token and 1 less charge on your weapon. But it's pretty good. And because your Hero Pyros give it +1 attack, you can easily make it do 2 damage. I think this card is quite strong. I'm going to say it's a 4.5. And unlike Rogue, where weapons can be kind of awkward, because Demon Hunter's Hero Power isn't equip a weapon, it's modify the attack. I don't think weapons get like a penalty when you're evaluating them. Because I think with Rogue, it's got to be a really good weapon to be worth it. All right. Altruist the Outcast. 3 mana, 3/2. After you play the left or rightmost card in your hand, deal 1 damage to all enemies. So it's slightly understated, but you can pull off quite a bit of AoE. It also goes face. That's the thing to think about, right? It can also be used to smork. There are a lot of cheap cards that we've seen already. How good is this? On its... like, it does require a little bit of support, right? So, I feel like it's not insane. Like, okay. I'm gonna say it's a 3. Because I could see in the right situation it being very good, but if you have like a really expensive card on the left and the right side, then it could be hard to use. And you top deck, it's kind of awkward. Yeah, I could be wrong about this, but I'm going to say it's like average. Eyebeam. 3 mana, lifesteal. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Outcast, this costs 0. Yeah, so this card is really, really good. Again, talking about tempo stuff, right? So if you play it for Outcast, deal 3 damage to a minion for 0 is just nutty. Like, you can have huge swings where you kill their 2-drop or sometimes their 3-drop if it's a 3/3 and develop something as well with it. If you play it without Outcast, then it's a worse Shadow Bolt. But I guess you still have the lifesteal, which isn't irrelevant. So it gives you a little bit of healing. I'm going to say this one is a 4. Because... one thing we have to think about with all of these cards is how likely you are to have it be like activated as an Outcast. And I think sometimes it might be a bit tough, especially with an Arena deck where you're going to have just some like 4 or 5 drops in your hand, and it's not that easy to just cycle them out to get the Outcast effect. So if it goes off. In Outcast form, it's insane, but I'm not sure how easy that will be to do. Okay. Wrathscale Naga. 3 mana, 3/1. After a friendly minion dies, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. See, now this card I think is approaching too far on the combo end of the spectrum, right? Like, because you're playing a 3-mana 3/1. So we'll see some cards that do combo with this later on. But just looking at the card, I don't think this is going to be very consistently good. I'm going to say it's really bad, actually. I'm going to say a 1.5. I don't think it's going to be good. Because how often are you going to have those swarm boards? It can go face, right? Like, that's something to think about. Like, it could be a finisher if you have a bunch of 1/1s and you throw it into minions and then pew, pew, pew. But in general, I don't think it's that good. Okay. Illidari Fellblade. 4 mana, 5/3, rush. Outcast gain immune this turn. Yeah, so this card is really good. Like, really, really good. Because unlike some of the other Outcast cards, a 4 mana 5/3 rush isn't terrible. Like, on its own. Because if you thought of, again, I forget the name of some of the old cards, but we had the 5/1 rush card that was a neutral. The mech card, forget the name. But that was fine, right? Like, you just used it for 5 damage to kill something. And that was useful all the time. This, at least, has a chance to survive if it doesn't have immune. Yeah, Steel Ranger. Steel Ranger's card I'm thinking of. This, at least, has a chance if you hit into a 2-health minion or something. Or a 2-attack minion. But if you get Divine Shield, well, immune, it's just broken. Like, game swinging, like, the game kind of ends, I would say, a lot of times. So, I'm going to say this one is a 4.5. Just because it's solid on its own, but if you do hit that Outcast effect, it's just probably likely to be game winning. All right, Raging Fellscream. 4 mana 4/4, Battlecry. The next demon you play costs 2 less. Huh. So again, you have to think about Arena, right? I have this tendency where I tend to overrate a lot of these cards because I'm like, oh, well, you know, if you do have this big demon and it comes out for 2 less, it's great. But the truth is, even if there are a lot of demons, a lot of them are cheap too. So reducing the cost of a 1 mana 2/2 to 0 isn't all that great. So it's like, yeah, it's not. Did I say at this turn? Yeah, it's the next one you play costs 2 less. Yeah, I might have misspoke about that, which obviously makes it a bit better because you don't need to have it in your hand. So if you just draw it at any point, it gets some value. And I don't think it's super understated. A 4 mana 4/4 is, you know, okay on turn 4. It trades into 3/4s fine. Obviously can get wrecked by even just a Yeti. I would say this card is... I'm going to go with a 3. I think there's upside. Why is my thing bugging out? Well, let me change a number. There we go. I think there's enough upside that it's like average. So that's my feeling about it. Okay. Soul Split. 4 mana, choose a friendly demon, summon a copy of it. Yeah, it's too situational. This is too situational. Because that other card that we just reviewed, you can kind of wait. Eventually, you probably get some value out of it. But this one, it has to be a demon. You can't copy other minions. So it's like a situational Molten Reflection. And that card was already situational, so I don't like it. I think it's really bad. I'm gonna say it's a 1.5. It's either a 1 or a 1.5. Let's go with a 1.5. All right. Command the Illidari. So this is kind of a card I was alluding to earlier. 5 mana, summon 6 1/1 Illidari with Rush. So obviously you can see a situation where you do this card, you have that 3/1 juggler-like effect to deal 3 damage, and you're just like pew, 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 right? The thing about this card is it doesn't need other cards to be good. We've already seen a card like this with the Hunter card, right? Again, terrible with the names of cards, but something Lotus Swarm. Did I nail it, chat? Lotus Swarm, Locust Swarm. Okay, close enough. Swarm of Locusts. Yeah, okay, somewhere in that range, right? And that card's pretty good. It's consistently good. Oftentimes in Arena, you're taking free kills. So this is a good comeback card where your opponent has, a 5-2, 3-1 left on the board, and you're able to get a bunch of clears on it. So I think this card is quite strong. I'm gonna go with a 4. Because sometimes you're ahead and then you don't have board space for it, and it can be a little bit awkward, but quite good. All right, Wrath Spike Brute. 5 mana, 2/6 taunt. After this is attacked, deal 1 damage to all enemies. Interesting card. It makes you think of the board states that this is going to be good with, right? So when you trade into it, you're obviously going to have to be careful, because if you have any 1 health minion left, it will kill it. So if you just think of a situation where you have like 3 or 2 2/1s and a 3/1 on the board, right? There's no way for you to trade into it, because as soon as 1 goes in, boom, AoE. And it also goes face, by the way. I'm not sure how well it fits what Demon Hunter is going to do, because I feel like Demon Hunter is kind of aggro, but maybe the face damage is relevant. I think it's good. I think it's quite good. I would say it's a 3.5. I don't think it's quite a 4, because 3 point. Okay, there we go. 3.5. Because sometimes you'll just have a 6/6 or something on the board, and it will just kill it, right? And that's not going to be very good. So, but yeah, there are situations where it will be quite good. Flame Reaper, 7 mana, 4/3. Also damages the minions next to whomever your hero attacks. So this card reminds me a lot of a arena-only card we had. Man, it's been maybe over a year or something since we had that. Blazing Sword? Blazing Silver Sword? It's something like that. Yeah, so it's a cleave effect with a weapon. Blazing Longsword. There we go. Blazing Longsword. It is expensive, but this card will be super annoying to play against. I don't think it's as good as Blazing Longsword. I don't think it is, because this comes out much later. I think that card, that arena only card, was like 3 mana and a 2/3 or something. Since it comes out quite a bit later, I think it isn't as good, but it's still really good. It's still really, really good. And positioning, this also means positioning is super important when you play against Demon Hunter. You want to have, I haven't seen a betrayal-like effect, so you want to have your high attack minion in the middle, so that at least to take damage when it hits it. I'm going to say this one is a 4.5. It's a little too expensive for me to give it a 5, and you do have to take the face damage the first turn, because this card gets really nutty as you have it for multiple uses. So if you're ahead and you have the health pool to use it again and again, it's just going to be disgusting, and you'll just kind of lose. It will have also that, I don't love cards like this because it has that feel bad. When you lose to it, just feels bad because you can't play your cards because you know what's going to happen to them. Very, very akin to the Super Collider feeling, right? But this one's, I would say, a little bit easier to play around than Super Collider. Anyhow, good, very good card. Hulking Overfiend. The 8 mana, 5/10 rush. After this attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. So reminds me of Batterhead a bit, right? Batterhead had less attack. I believe Batterhead was a 3/12, I want to say. Less attack, but more health. This having 5 attack means it's better than Batterhead. Betterhead. Someone in chat said that. That's a good one. I like it. Betterhead. We should call it that. But yeah, it's quite good. How good? I would say... I mean, just think about also Gyrocopter. It's 2 mana more expensive, but it's kind of a similar type effect where you kill off lower attack minions and then you send it into maybe a big guy for a big swing. I think it's very good. I'm going to say a 4. It's definitely between 4.5 territory, but I'm going to go with a 4. I don't know why I just said 4.5. My text program is causing problems. I said 4. There we go. 4. All right. Nethrundamus. I'm sure I butchered that name. 9 mana, 8/8 dragon. Battlecry. Summon 2 random 0-cost minions. Upgrades each time a friendly minion dies. So this card. If it's played in the most advantageous spot, it probably just ends the game. Because if you drew it in the mid game and you've survived to turn 9 to play it, likely you've killed off 4 or 5 minions. You're going to get 2 5-drops with this, and an 8/8 and then 2 5-drops is probably game ending. However, unless you roll taunt, you are a little vulnerable for at least that one turn when you drop it, and again, unless you hit rush or taunt, it doesn't really impact the board immediately. So I don't think it's a 5-star card, but I think it's probably a 4.5. Just because, again, we have to think about Demon Hunter. Is gonna, again, we saw those the rush 1/1s and stuff. So those count. If you play that card before this, each one of those counts as a minion dying. So, it could very quickly get pumped up. So, yes, very, very, very strong card. Yeah, I see chat talking a lot, kind of like Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. I don't think it's quite on Dragon Queen Alexstrasza's level because you don't get... Dragon Queen oftentimes is super nutty because you get a positive battle cry, right? Like a Deadly Shot effect or Tyrant effect or something immediately. So I think that upside means Dragon Queen Alexstrasza is better, but it's obviously still very good. All right. So that's all the Initiate cards, I guess. I think it was Akadar mentioned there's other cards. Initiate. It's just those, right? And then just the cards for Ashes of Outland. Is that all of the Demon Hunter ones? It is, right? Correct? Scroll down to basic. Am I being a boomer? Am I being a boomer? I don't see basic. I think this is it. Oh wait, we got a link. Oh, where did these come from? Surprise! Okay. All right. So these are the basic. So what is Initiate? Is that classic? What is that? Why aren't they just all in the same set? Why do we have basic and Initiate? Do you have to spend dust for the basic and you get the Initiates for free? How does it work? Anyhow, all right. So this is now the basic Demon Hunter cards. All right, basic equals free. Oh, okay. So you get these ones for free. The other ones you have to spend dust on. Got it. All right. Let's get it going. Shadow Hoof Slayer. 1 mana, 2/1. Battlecry, give your hero +1 attack this turn. It's good. It's really good. It's really, 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 really good. I actually hadn't seen this card before. Because you can use it. You can combo with your hero power. Or you just play it on 1 to kill their 2/1 and then get to keep it. It's really good. I'm going to say it's a 4. Yeah. How did I miss this card? What the heck? All right. Chaos Strike. 2 mana, give your hero +2 attack this turn, draw a card. +2 attack, draw card. So the first thing I think about is the Paladin card that gives your hero 2 attack and then you gain some health. Forget the name of it, but that card wasn't very good. But this is card draw. Yeah, I guess Slam is another card to think about. Slam's very good. This is Slam, but you have to take the damage. But the card draw always happens, right? So I would say it's similar. Yeah, Seal of Light is a Paladin card I was thinking of. I'd say it's similar power level to Slam, in my opinion. And what would I rate Slam? It's good. It's quite good. Like maybe 3.5, I would say, for this card. I think that's reasonable. Okay, I'm just going to try to stay hydrated during the reviews so I don't lose my voice at some point. Hydration. Hopefully I don't have to pee. Sightless Watcher. 2 mana, 3/2. Battle Cry. Look at 3 cards in your deck. Choose 1 to put on top. So I think this card is great for Arena. I saw some discussion on Twitter. People talking about it for Constructed. Like, how good is it because you don't get a card immediately. For me, this card is very good because... you obviously keep in your opening hand, and you can use it to fill in a hole in your curve. So, your hand is this card, and you've got a 4-drop and a 5-drop. You can use this to try to dig for a 3-drop. Or if you don't hit a 3-drop, something else down the line, or removal or whatever. So I think this card will be great in Arena. Also, it's understated, right? A 2 mana 3/2 is fine. So I'm going to say this is I'm going to go with a 4. I'm going to go with a 4. It's, yeah. 4 seems reasonable. It's like 4, I'd say it's like 4 to 4.5. It's very good. Alderachi Warblades. 3 mana, 2/3 weapon with lifesteal. 3 mana, 2/3 weapon, but it has lifesteal. So it's a reverse Fiery War Axe, but it has lifesteal thrown into it. And the thing about it is with your hero power, once again, you can, for 1 extra mana, you can get 3 damage. It's good. It's quite good. Not insane, but good. I'm going to say it's a 3.5. It's a 3.5 or a 4. I'm going to go with a 3.5. Yep. All right. Coordinated Strikes. 3 mana. Summon 3 1/1 Illidari with Rush. 3 1/1 Illidari with Rush. So the first card I think about with this is Bees. So Bees is a Druid card where you summon 4 bees, but they all attack 1 target. The difference about this is you get 1 less unit, but you can split the damage because you get to choose where it attacks, right? But also it can't just go past taunt. So like if there's something behind a taunt, you can't get to it and kill it with this, which I don't really like. Like I think that's a big deal. Because it means that, people will oftentimes do that in Arena. Put a 5/2 behind, 2/6 taunt or something, and this won't be able to deal with it. So I would say it's okay. I'm going to say it's like it's a 2.5 or a 3 for me. I don't know. I'm going to go 2.5 on this one. I don't think it's that great. It doesn't feel that good to me. All right. Satyr Overseer. 3 mana 4/2. After your hero attacks, summon a 2/2 Satyr. 3 mana 4/2 summons 2/2. So it's slightly understated because it doesn't have like a 4/3. I would say is like fair stat line. But generally what you want to do, this card is played on turn 4 or later, where you can hero power for 1 mana and then have this in play. Make sure you play it and then attack. don't mess up the order. But I think it's because of that, a 4/2 and a 2/2 on turn 4, and it's a card that needs to be killed. I think it's very, very good. Not like broken, but very good. I'm going to say this is a 4. I'm going to go with 4. Don't correct how I want to say it. Satyr. It's a satyr to me. Satyr. Okay. Soul Cleave. 3 mana, lifesteal, deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy minions. So, obviously, it's similar to Cleave, except it's 1 more mana and has lifesteal. How good is Cleave? Because I think it's... Honestly, I think it's a worse version of Cleave. Because I don't think lifesteal is worth 1 mana. So, I'm going to say this is like a 2. And obviously, lifesteal is good with the class. I get that. But it just feels like it's a little bit too expensive for me. Chaos Nova. 5 mana, deal 4 damage to all minions. All minions. I hate cards like this because it reminds me of like a Dragonfire potion. It's the same mana cost, right? I think Dragonfire was 5 mana. Obviously, that one didn't hit dragons, but it's a similar type card where it rewards being off the board and kind of swinging it. And it's very hard to play around. Like the 4 damage breakpoint makes it hard to play around. Oh, Dragonfire was 6. Oh, so this is 1 less mana, but does 1 less damage, right? Dragonfire did 5. Dragonfire was 6 mana, deal 5 to everything but dragons. Is that correct? Trying to remember, but anyhow, I think it's quite good. Yeah, I guess like Fellfire is a good comparison. Sure, Fellfire is very similar to that card, and those cards were all really good. I'm gonna say it's a 4. 4, like 4.5, not quite, but it's good because if you're ahead, it doesn't go face, so it's kind of different than Fellfire because Fellfire gets a lot of its power from being able to hit face to like close out games. I died to Fellfire so much. So the fact it doesn't go face means I think it's not like... I think I would take Fellfire over this card, basically. Okay, Glavebound Adept. 5 mana, 7/4. Battlecry, if your hero attacked this turn, deal 4. Oh, man. This card is bonkers. It's bonkers, because... So again, turn 6, probably, you hero power and play it, or you have like the 0 mana slice card or whatever, so you can play it on turn 5. Oh, and the thing is, like, it is slightly, like, it has a little bit less health than you would like for a 5-drop, but it has 7 attack, which means it can trade up. So what you'll likely do is you'll kill off something, and then it will be the only minion on the board, and then... unless it can remove it, it will probably trade into the next minion. So, I think this card... And it can go face. It can also go face. It's insane. I think this card's a 5. I think it will be used for removal, but can also be used to end the game. Like, 4 damage is a lot. I think this is a 5. Alright. Inner Demon. 8 mana, give your hero +8 attack this turn. Well, I'm sure this is like Twitch Chat's favorite card. Well, there's another one I think coming up soon that is another one of Twitch Chat's favorite card. Me Smork, me good. If the face plays taunt, I still go face. Okay, let's stop. I don't think it's that good. to cut to the chase, I don't think it's that good because it's too expensive. Like 8 mana for this effect, and it doesn't. It has to respect taunt, right? It's not like Pyro or something. So I don't think this card is very good. Obviously, it can be a game ender, but I don't think it's like insane. I'm going to say it's either a 2.5 or a 3, but I think I will go with a... I think I'm going to go with a 2.5. Why does my thing keep messing up? 5. There we go. 2.5. All right, that's it. We're done. That's the review. Thanks for coming out. It's been a good time. All right, that was just the Demon Hunter cards that are not with this expansion. So those Demon Hunter cards that I just went through are going to be around, well, forever, basically. Forever. I'm using a little different program for the capture this time. It will probably go a little bit quicker, but it might not look quite as pretty, so hopefully people can manage. Here we go. We're ready? Are we all good? We need a break? Is everyone hanging in there? Going like this, we'll finish in 4 hours. Whew, 4 hours. I think I'll be a little bit quicker once we get past Demon Hunter. I think. All right, here we go. First Demon Hunter card for the new expansion is Crimson Sigil Runner. 1 mana, 2/1 Outcast, draw a card. So it's good, I'd say, but not great. Like maybe a little bit above average or average-ish, because I don't know how often you'll be able to guarantee the draw. I'm just not convinced that you're going to be able to reliably get the Outcast effect. The one thing about this card I will say though is if you draw it in like the mid game, then you can probably hold it until a point where you can get the Outcast effect. Because the 1 mana 2/1 on like turn 7 or turn 8 or something, turn 6, it might not be all that relevant, and so you can hold on to it to get that draw. So I'm gonna say it's like a. I'm gonna say it's like a. Let's go with a. Maybe it's slightly above average. I'll say 3.5. Yeah. Of course, if you top deck these cards, then you can just play it, right? And it's cheap. That's a good point, right? Like if anytime you draw it, it's pretty easy to just play it, right? That's true. I'm gonna stick with a 3.5, but yeah, that's a good point. Right. But even, yeah, the thing about it is sometimes you'll have like a 5-drop you want to play nothing else. So even if you top deck it, you won't be able to immediately play it. You could play it in the dig, but yeah, any interesting card, if nothing else. I'm going to stick with 3.5. Immolation Aura. 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions twice. So it's double-sided, but deal 2 to the board for 2. It's very good. Reminds me a little bit of Volcanic Potion, except it's 1 mana cheaper, right? And because it deals 1 damage twice, it's better at dealing with Death Rattles, right? Because, like, deal 1 damage, you can kill a Death Rattle that has, 1 health minion after, and then you can do it again. Like, it does it again. And Reborn, yeah, I'm assuming it works like that with all of them. Shields, etc. Yeah. So this card is pretty bonkers. I'm gonna say it's a 4.5. 4.5. I would give it a 5 if it only hit your opponent's board. I think it's close to a 5. Would that be balanced? All right, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Netherwalker. 2 mana, 2/2, Battlecry, discover a demon. Ooh. I love cards like this. I'm trying to think about how good it is, but I just like cards like this. Like Frightened Flunky, anything where it's not situational draw either. Like you can discover whenever you play it. You don't have to be holding a demon or something. Obviously a 2/2 is slightly understated, but as like Frightened Flunky is a nuts card. Obviously, that card has Taunt on it and discovers a Taunt. So I'd say that card's like a little bit better than this. Like maybe Flunky is like a 4.5, and I'd say this is like a 4. So I'm going to give it a 4. Obviously, like with Discover, you're able to move this here maybe. You're able to pick a card for the situation, which is very valuable. Spectral Sight. Wow, this card is a little thicker than the other ones. It's bigger. 2 mana, draw a card. Outcast, draw another. So just a quick reminder, Outcast means if the card is on the far left or far right of your hand. So you top deck it, or it's the farthest card in your hand. So worst case, it's 2 mana, draw 1. Best case, it's 2 mana, draw 2. Even if you get 2 mana, draw 2, it isn't like, oh, I just win the game, right? Like Book of Specters. Obviously, it does have a downside, but that card isn't like, oh, wow, this is so insane when I played it and drew 2. So, yeah, I think it's okay. I'm going to say it's a 3. Could even be like a 2.5. You know what? I'm going to give it 2.5. I don't think it's that good. 2.5. Ashtongue Battlelord. 4 mana, 3/5, Taunt and Lifesteal. It's okay, buddy. I know. It's going to be okay. Yes, it's just a better version of Sinjin. Yes, but not everyone can have it. Only Demon Hunters can have it. It's okay. You're not totally irrelevant. Like, other classes will still have to take you. Okay. All right, hang in there. Okay. He's having a hard day. Like, once his card came out, he was really upset. But, you know, unlike Sinjin, which all classes can draft, this is only for Demon Hunter. But it's very good. It's very good. 4 mana, 3/5. Like, Sinjin is still a fine arena card. Even in today's age, it's not good or great anymore, but it's fine. And this is a better version of it. So I'd say this is like a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. Fell Summoner. 6 mana, 5/8. 5/8? How did I read 8/3 as 5/8? Let's try that again. Fell Summoner. 6 mana, 8/3. Death Rattle, summon a random demon from your hand. It doesn't have enough health. Obviously, it's meant to be like aggressively statted, but 3 health on a 6-drop, and you won't necessarily have a demon in hand. I think it sucks. Obviously, if you do have a big demon, it could be insane, but it comes out later than like a Void Caller. It comes out on turn 6, not turn 4. So I'm going to give it a... I'll give it a 1.5. Because you still have a chance for it to be nutty, right? Whenever you kill this, you will have that feeling of what if a giant demon comes out, you know? So, and sometimes it will happen, but I don't think it'll be consistent. So, 1.5. Look at that little cutie. 2 mana, 3/2. All right. Furious Felfin. 2 mana, 3/2 Murloc. Battlecry. If your hero attacked this turn, gain +1 attack and rush. This card is really good. So, again, easy to attack with Demon Hunter, with weapons, or with your hero power. So, if you have attacked, a 4-attack rush minion for 2 mana is really good. It's either a 4 or 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. It's going to be so good at removing. And effectively, if you use your hero power with it, you can remove a 5 health minion for 3 mana. It's pretty nutty. Okay. Imprisoned Antaean. I'm sure I butchered that, and chat will correct me, but I'm going with Antaean. 5 mana, 10/6 demon. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 10 damage randomly split among all enemies. So these dormant cards, I have to say, going in, I'm the most unsure about them. I could be very wrong about how I rate them. I personally think this card is quite good, and I have to remember all the different dormant cards. I think it's in my opinion, the best or one of the best of the dormant cards. But yeah, we'll have to see once we play with them. I should mention what dormant means. So dormant means that it takes up a spot on the board, but it doesn't attack and cannot be interacted with. So it's, if you remember, I think from some of the adventures in the past, we've had the effect, it will, like, After you play it the next turn when it's your turn, a little counter will come up and it'll say like dormant for one more turn or whatever. The reason I think this one is very good is because the effect is super hard to play around. So if you play this on turn 5, then it's like, how do you play around it? Because 10 damage is so much, and you can't just not play minions because then it goes face, right? No AoE kills it. You can't interact with it at all. So, you know, you still have to play minions, and it will likely clear your board when it comes out, and it has 10, it's a 10 attack minion, a 10/6. So I think this one is really good. And I feel fairly confident about my rating of this, but you do have to remember, if you top deck it and you need something to play immediately and you're, you know, dying kind of thing, it doesn't really do much for you, and it won't do something for you for an additional turn. But I think this card is good. How good? It's either a 4 or a 4.5. Since I'm a little... I'm going to go with 4.5. I think this is might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think this one will be a really good card of the dormant ones. See, chat's saying 5. I don't think it's a 5. I think there's enough of a downside about when you draw it that it's not a 5, but it's very, very good. Speaking of 5s, so the next card is Coilfang Warlord. 8 mana, 9/5. With Rush, Death Rattle, summon a 5/9 Warlord with Taunt. This card is... I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Like, maybe I just don't know about Constructed, but in Arena, this shit is bonkers. Like, bonkers crazy. And it has to be good in Constructed. I can't imagine it won't be good there either, but, you know, I don't know as much about that. Like, I feel like this card will be nerfed at some point, but who knows? I'm just a pleb Arena streamer. What do I know? So, yeah. The thing that makes this card so good is that 9 mana, or 9 attack is a breakpoint where it will kill most big targets. Like, because, you know, oftentimes 8 health is what a lot of the later game drops have. Not, you know, it won't kill everything, but it'll kill a lot of things. Sometimes it will even free kill things, and then you have to deal with it, and then it summons the taunt after. And a 5/9 is, it's an Etten with 2 more health. A 5/9 taunt. So, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with this one. I'm glad that it is not... Let me put the 5 up there before I forget. I'm glad that it's not a neutral, because if it was neutral, I would probably lose my mind. It's like, it would be like a Tyrant-like effect where you're losing to it again and again and again and again and again. But I expect people to pick Demon Hunter a lot, so I think you will see it a decent amount. It's also not... It's a rare, so that means you'll see it quite a bit less than if it was, you know, a common. So, anyhow, bonkers. Oh, that's what it looks like. Conch Guard Warlord. We'll be seeing a lot of that. Okay. Skull of Gul'dan. 5 mana, draw 3 cards. Outcasts reduce their cost by 3. 5 mana, draw 3 isn't very good, because it takes up most of your turn. If you do play it for Outcasts, though, it's, like, insane, because you're likely to get cards that are going to be free off of it. But again, not sure how often you'll get that effect. I think this one, you know, obviously, and if you top deck it, it's not as simple as, oh, well, I guess if you top deck it, you do just probably rip it immediately, because you'll likely get some stuff to play, right? And it'll be reduced, so it's not like you totally missed your turn. I'm gonna say it's a 3.5. I'm gonna say it's a 3.5. We haven't seen a ton of card draw so yet for Demon Hunters. We have that one where minions die, you get it. They have a decent amount, though. That 2 cost spell. I'll go 3.5. Man, the more I look at these Demon Hunter cards, the more I think things are going to be a little bit imbalanced, at least in the arena. The next card is Priestess of Fury. 7 mana, 6/7. At the end of your turn, deal 6 damage randomly split among all enemies. And that's not just one turn. So if you can't kill it, it AoEs you each turn. Oh, and it can also go face. So if you don't have stuff on the board, you're going to take it to the dome. This card is insane. And the stats aren't even that bad. So it's one, you pay 1 mana for that effect over a Boulder Fist Ogre, right? And a Boulder Fist Ogre is fine. I'd say this is also a 5. So obviously it's a more expensive card. Like, you have to wait till turn 7 to play it, but the effect is so powerful, I have a hard time believing it will be anything but insane. Okay, Warglaives of Azzinoth. 5 mana, 3/4 weapon. After attacking a minion, your hero may attack again. So it's like a Fool's Bane, except you can smork with it. So it's like just a better version of Fool's Bane, and Fool's Bane is good, right? You can't smork with it as in send it all face in one turn, but you can like kill 2 minions and then send 1 charge face. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. I'm just thinking about how good. I think it's... You do take a lot of face damage with it, right? That's one thing to think about. But there's enough lifesteal with these cards that I think it will still be good. I'll say it's like a 3.5. I personally feel like this card should be way better, because I come from World of Warcraft, where Warglaives of Azzinoth was like insane. And it's not all that insane. Like, what the heck? Warglaives were the thing everyone wanted. It looks so cool with them. It's only a 3.5? All right, Pit Commander. Get some more coffee. Pit Commander, 9 mana, 7/9. Taunt. At the end of your turn, summon a demon from your deck. 9 mana, 7/9 Taunt. So it's basically like an Ironbark, but comes down 1 turn later, right? My issue with this card is we've already seen a lot of cheap demons. And so if you pull one of those like 2/2s or 2/1s or something, which I think, you know, people will be drafting a lot of them because they're good, it's not great. And it's also very expensive. So I would say this one is like I'm going to say it's a 2. It does have Taunt, but yeah. I'm going to go with a 2. Yeah, and it dies to that 9/5 rush card, right? And then they have a 5/9 on the board. Woohoo! Okay. Ooh. Time for another good core, chat. Kane Sunfury. 4 mana, 3/5. The card has charge. The effect is all friendly attacks ignore taunt. All. So like the card on its own, if you didn't have that text, it's like whatever, right? 3/5 charge, whatever. But what this card means is that you're never really safe behind taunts if you're playing a Demon Hunter. We have to realize it's a legendary, so you're not going to see much of an arena. It's also thankfully not a demon, so you're not going to discover it. But yeah, it's very good because even if you just use it to like remove something, I know it's not that bad, right? Like the 2/4 Stormwind Knight, it's like a better version of the Stormwind Knight, right? It's okay, and it can go face. But again, you won't see a lot of it, thankfully. I would hate if this card was super common, because it would just make taunts kind of pointless. I would say this is I'm going to say it's like a 4. I feel like it's like a 4. Like, it's a good finisher, but I think it's a 4. It's like a 4 to 4.5. All right. Another good card, if you like to smork. Metamorphosis. 5 mana. Swap your hero power to deal 5 damage. After 2 uses, swap it back. So unlike some of the other cards that we saw earlier, this one ignores taunt. It's just like, you can deal 5 damage, something, to face, a minion, whatever. You will have to spend mana for it. Now, I don't know if we have confirmation, but I'm assuming it costs 1 mana. Did we get confirmation on that, chat? Like, it doesn't say anything about changing the cost of it, so I would assume it costs 1 mana. Yeah, okay, it costs 1 mana. So, turn 6, you can deal 5, and then you have it for next turn. I think it's pretty good. I would say this one is also a 4. I think that's pretty fair. Like, you can use it to remove, you can use it to go face. If you play it on turn 6, it's not a great turn, but then you have the effect for the next turn as well. So I think it's pretty good. Why don't you just scroll down, Dreads? Is it that hard? Just scroll down and you'll see it. Okay, well, here's the effect. 1 mana Demonic Blast. All right. Well, that's it. We made it through Demon Hunter. Boom. Overall, Demon Hunter seems absolutely insane. We'll see what the other classes look like, but my initial feelings about Demon Hunter is it's going to be broken, and the stuff, whenever things are new from Blizzard, they're broken. Like, take me back to Death Knights and WoW, like the first season of Death Knights and WoW. It was so stupid. So I think just looking at the cards and just my feelings about how normally new stuff is, I think it's going to be broken. All right, on to Druid. Imprisoned Satire. 3 mana, 3/3 demon, dormant for 2 turns. Satyr, imprisoned Satyr. Boom. Satyr. 3 mana, 3/3 demon, dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, reduce the cost of a random minion in your hand by 5. Again, these dormant cards are hard to evaluate. So, best case scenario, you play it on turn 3, right? And then when it awakens, it hits a big card. The problem is you'll probably have some cheap cards in your hand too. And if you play a 3 mana 3/3 and it hits like a 1-drop, then it's totally not worth it. And in Arena, you need to, you're going to have to draft pretty low curve. And I don't know. I think this one is one of the less good ones. It still has some upside. So I'm going to say it's like a 1.5 or a 2. Druid does tend to have some big stuff, huh? I'll go with a 2. I'll believe. 2. Overgrowth. 4 mana, gain 2 empty mana crystals. So Druid gets another ramp card. I haven't really thought about this card too much. You pass turn 4, but then you go up to 6 mana crystals, and then the next time you play, you'll have 7, right? The next turn that you get a turn. I think it's too slow. I don't think you can afford to pass, right? Yeah, it's like playing 2 Wild Growths, right? In the mid game. Yeah, I don't know. And you're gonna need to be able to capitalize on it immediately, right? And that doesn't always happen in Arena. Like, obviously, I'm sure Construct will make it work, but in Arena, like, you might not have a perfect drop to come down right after it. Or if you do have Winged Guardian to come down after you played this and ramp perfectly into it, yeah, you'll probably win. But I don't think that's realistic. So I'm gonna say this is bad. I'm gonna say really bad. Uno. Boom. Hit him with a 1. All right. Fungal Fortunes. 2 mana. Draw 3 cards. Discard any minions drawn. It's just not meant to be arena card, right? Like, it's just not meant to be arena card. Like, because most of your deck will be minions. So I think we can just keep it as a 1 for I just don't see this being applicable. If you do have a lot of spells and you hit 1, it's still not even that great, right? So yeah, it just feels like a constructed card. Ironbark. 2 mana, give a minion +1/+3 and taunt. Cost 0 if you have at least 7 mana crystals. So it's a different variation of a lot of these cards that we've seen before that are give a minion +2/+2, right? Like Druid even has Mark of the Wild, which is +2/+2 and taunt, so it's pretty similar to that. It has a little bit of upside in that if you play it late in the game, it's free. Although if you're playing it like turn 7, turn 8+, how useful will it be that it's free? I think this card is fine. I'd say this is like a perfectly average card. I'll say this is a 3. Seems fair, right? Germination. Another one of these. All right, so for Germination, summon a copy of a friendly minion, give the copy taunt. So it's another one of these copy of a minion cards. We seem to have a few of them in this expansion. The upside about this one is that it does give the copy taunt, which can be valuable for stop and smork. I would say generally taunt is a good thing. So if you play a card like, let's say, like a Boulder Fist Ogre, which is something that people normally would ignore because it's hard to trade into on that turn, then you play it after and it's got taunt. It seems okay. I still feel like it's not a good card. Like, I feel like it's an okay card. I'm going to say this one is also, like, it's a little better than the other ones, but I would say it's like a 3. I'm going to stick with a 3. It could be a 2.5. Now I'm starting to think it might be a 2.5 the more I stare at it. All right, never mind. I'm changing it. Change. 2.6? No, stop dreads. We're not going into that small. I'm going with 2.5. 2.5. Next one. Glowfly Swarm. 5 mana. Summon a 2/2 Glowfly for each spell in your hand. It's awful. It's another one. We'll save some time. This is another one. Like, how many spells are you going to have? And even if you have, like, somehow have 2 spells to 5 mana for 2 2/2s, it's like terrible. Cool kind of. I bet this card is cool and golden though. That's an upside. All right, there's what the Glowfly is. Okay, if chat isn't already KEKWing, they should start KEKWing now. Marsh Hydra. 7 mana, 7/7 beast tag. With Rush, after this attacks, add a random 8-cost minion to your hand. So, it's not understated. It's a 7/7 for 7 with initiative. And oh, by the way, Arena is going to be standard. And so, there's a very good chance that your opponent is going to play this, free kill your Boulder Fist Ogre, and then add a Tyrant to their hand. Does that sound like fun? How much fun does that sound? Like, I mean, that sounds a good time to me. I can't wait. But yeah, it's really good. Like, it gives you a play for the next turn. So, and I don't think there are that many super low roll 8-drops. So I'm just very glad, again, shout out to Blizzard for not making cards like this neutral. Like, it's a Druid, it's an epic, you won't see it all that often, thankfully. It's a 5. Oh, did I forget that part? In my opinion, this card is a 5. Insane. All right. Arch Spore. Is it Arc Spore or Arch Spore? I think it's Arch Spore. Mishifin. 3 mana, 3/4. Taunt, Death Rattle, Shuffle, Mishifin Prime into your deck. So this is the first of these Prime cards that we've talked about. So with all of these cards, they start out in one form. After it dies and gets shuffled into your deck, you get you get a higher power level, and generally I think they're all more expensive cost card. For this one, the prime that you get back is a 10 mana 9/9 with taunt, and then choose one. Summon a 9/9 fungal giant with taunt or rush. Wait a second. So, wait. So you get this? Am I understanding this correctly? Like, does it give you the 10 mana 9/9 taunt, and then you get this other thing too? And you get to choose if they have so you get one with taunt, and then you get to choose if you want another one with taunt or rush. So, I mean, again, it's legendary. You won't see it all that much, but it's not even understated when you play it. It's a 3 mana 3/4. And if you ever draw it, like, the game just ends. Yeah, I mean, you won't draw it a lot, but it's either a 4.5 or a 5, because there's no downside. It's a 3 mana 3/4, right? I'm gonna say, man, I think it's a 5. How many 5s am I gonna give out? What the hell? I think it's a 5. 3 mana 3/4 is good. If you draw this, you probably just win. Oh yeah, it's got a taunt on it. Wait, I actually didn't even remember that part. Why? Why does it need taunt too? Were they like, this card isn't good enough if it doesn't have taunt on the first half of it? Anyhow, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Okay, moving on. No, it's either rush or summon? No, it's not. The wording just makes no sense if that's the case. Taunt, choose one. So it already has taunt. So if that was the case, then why would you ever take the taunt form? That doesn't make sense. No, it has to be 2. Plus, it would suck if you just got to choose one. No, that doesn't make sense. Fake news. All right. I don't know how to say this word. Yziel Windsinger. 9 mana 5/5. Your spells cost 1. Garbage. This is an easy one. Again, it's meant for constructed. You can't play a 9 mana 5/5, even if you have a good spell in hand. You just can't. All right. Imprisoned Felma. Okay, so that's the end of Druid. Boom. Done with Druid. Now we're moving on to the best class. Am I right? To the Smork class. Although, is Demon Hunter the new Smork class? Maybe Hunter is now like the tier 2 Smork class. It's time on the Smork. The Smork top of the pyramid is come to an end. All right. Imprisoned Felma. 2 mana 5/4. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, attack a random enemy. So it can go face, right? Because it says random enemy. So it can hit him in the dome. It's overstated. Again, it's going to be good if you play it on 2, because it will free kill, most likely, something that your opponent plays when it comes out, or at least trade with it. But it's a pretty terrible top deck. I think it's probably going to end up being about an average card. I'm going to say maybe even slightly below average. I'm going to say this is a 2.5. Yep. Scavenger's Ingenuity. 2 mana, draw a beast, give it +3/+3. Oh, God. So, you'll see some of the cards that Hunter is getting, and a lot of the Hunter cards are insane with this type of an effect because it's like they deal damage, you go to their attack to the board, etc., things like that. This is, and you can't like whiff on it. Like it always draws you a beast. You could whiff on it if you have no beast in your deck, but I think you'll probably have a beast. I think it's good. Obviously, you pay 2 mana for the effect, but 2 mana for +3/+3, even if you don't hit something with synergy, I think it's okay. I'm going to say this is like a 3.5. This is probably on the high side for some people, but I think I think it's enough of it makes a minion enough overstated that it's worth it. Okay. Mock Nathal Lion. 4 mana, 5/2 beast. Rush. Battlecry, choose a friendly minion, gain a copy of its death rattle. So how many death rattles are we getting, chat? They're a decent number, huh? We're going to see more of the Hunter cards soon, but I think there's a decent number. The chances you have one on the board for it, though, is like pretty unlikely. Worst case is just a 4 mana 5/2 rush, which is pretty decent removal. We get the primes. Yeah, but that's pretty unlikely, right? For arena, right? I'm going to say this one, it's still above average, I'd say. It's like a 4. I think this is probably like a 4. Because even you don't need to hit the effect for it to be okay. The heck? Just heard like a thump. I don't know. Okay. Scrap Shot. Why is it so small? Scrap Shot. 4 mana. Deal 3 damage. Give a random beast in your hand +3/3. Deal 3. You can go face. Give a random beast in your hand +3/3. If you don't have a beast, it's pretty bad, right? If you do, it's good, but if you don't have a beast, it's really weak. 4 mana, deal 3. Still, reach is valuable in Hunter. I'm going to say this one is like a 2.5. 2.5? Maybe it's better than that. I'm going to say it's a 3. I'm going to believe in the buff Hunter. I'm going to believe. We're going to have beasts. We're going to get the buff. We're going to pop off. It's going to be insane. If not, we just smork with it. Okay. Another small one here. Apologies. Pack Tactics. 2 mana secret. When a friendly minion is attacked, summon a 3/3 copy. So 3/3 copy means you get like death rattles and stuff, right? Or if it has taunt, you get taunt, etc., right? Worst case, you're getting a 2 mana 3/3 just generic, which is fine, I think. Like it's okay. Yeah, it would copy poison, etc., whatever effect. It's good. I'm trying to think if this or Venom Strike is better. I think Venom Strike on average will be better because poison is going to be better than most of what you're going to copy. So it's okay. I'm going to say it's like a 3. I think Venom Strike is probably like a 3.5 or maybe even like a 4. I'm going to say a 3. Augmented Porcupine. 3 mana 2/4 beast. Death Rattle, deal this minion's attack damage randomly split among all enemies. So obviously, the card has great synergy with any of this buff stuff, right? The +3/3 on this, and it's going to be really disgusting. How often will you pull that off in Arena? Very unlikely, because it's an epic card, so you won't draft it all that often, and then you need to hit the buff, etc., etc. So that it's unlikely to have that type of a power level, but it's still not bad. A 2/4 is understated, but you get minimum 2 damage of pings. It seems pretty decent. Like, if you're up against a 3/4, you know, it still does okay. I'm gonna say it's a 3 or like a 3.5. I think it's probably a 3. Because It's only going to be really good if you hit a buff. I'm going to go with 3. All right, Nagrand Slam. I don't know if this card is great, but I really like it. It takes me back to like the days of hunting these dudes in, what was it, Negron Valley? Negron something in WoW. Like you'd have to go hunt a bunch of these dudes. So it's 10 mana, summon 4 3/5 Cleft Hoofs that attack random enemies. And they can also go face. They can smork, by the way. So empty board, you get 12 damage to the dome. It's a bit slow, to say the least. It's a 10 mana card, and it like Call of the Wild was an out because even if they had a huge board, if they have taunt, then you can always smork with the Huffer. So there's a chance that this one you whiff and you just hit all the minions, or maybe that's what you want. Maybe you do want the clear. How good is it going to be on average? Man, I don't like 10 mana cards in Hunter, but the fact that it has a chance to go face, I think makes it okay. Because you can't hero power with it, right? I would say this is like I'm going to give it a 4. I want to believe. I want it to be good. It's a lot of stats. 4 3/5s that impact the board immediately. It's quite a bit of stats. I think it'll be good. All right. Zixor Apex Predator. This is a legendary card. 3 mana, 2/4, Rush. Shuffle Zixor Prime into your deck. So another one of these Prime cards. Let's see what the effect is. The Prime. Zixor Prime. It's an 8 mana, 4/4 Rush. Battlecry. Summon 3 copies of this minion. So when I first saw this card, I thought that meant there were 3. But it's 3 copies of it. So you get, for 8 mana, you get 4 4/4 rushes. So, yeah, it's a 16/16 in stats of rush. And yeah, if you buff it, if you happen to hit the lottery and buff it with the cards we've talked about, then yeah, it's insane. Right? And a 2/4 rush is pretty decent. You get to like make a trade on a damaged minion or whatever. It's not bad just on its own. I don't see a way where these Prime cards aren't nutty. I'm going to say this one's a 4.5. Because I think a 2/4 rush is quite a bit worse than a 3/4 with taunt, for example. And obviously if you draw it, it's nutty. But I'm going to go with a 4.5. Beastmaster Leorox. 8 mana, 5/5. Battlecry. Summon 3 beasts from your hand. It's garbage. It's just bad. Sometimes there are legendaries that are meant for constructed. Well, who are we kidding? All of the legendaries are meant for constructed. But some of them are still good in arena. This one's just bad because you're going to need to have 3 beasts in hand. How often will that happen in arena? And even if you have 1 or 2, let's say, which would be great, if they're cheap, this card isn't even that great. So I would say this is like, there's a chance for some upside. I'll go with a 1.5 here. But generally, it's going to be terrible. Incanter's Flow. Oh, onto Mage. So that's the end of Hunter. Now we're moving into Mage cards, one of my favorite classes. Incanter's Flow, 2 mana. Reduce the cost of spells in your deck by 1. This card again just feels like it doesn't really do a whole lot in arena. Yeah, some people think of, but I play this and then I can play Flame Strike 1 turn early, and it's like, yeah, but you have to draw the Flame Strike. You have to have the Flame Strike in your deck. And then you have to pay 2 mana for the effect. So obviously it's meant more for combo pieces. I think this card is just pretty much unpickable. So I'm going to go with a 1 here. Star Scryer. 2 mana, 3/1. Death Rattle, draw a spell. I think in general, drawing a spell is better than just pulling a random card from your deck. That won't always be the case in Arena where you're trying to get curve, but in general, it's targeted draw, and spells, especially for Mage, tend to be good. It does get pinged off, so it's kind of like a loot hoarder, but it does have one more attack, so you kind of have to ping it off. I think it's pretty good, actually. Like, the difference between a 2-1 and a 3-1, I think, means a lot. Because oftentimes in Arena, if someone plays a loot hoarder, you just play like a 2-3, right? And then you get a head on the board. With this one, if your opponent plays this on turn 2, it's going to probably trade into your 2-drop if you don't ping it, which is poor for tempo. So I think it's pretty good. I'm going to say it's a... I'm going to go with a 3.5. Not on the insane level of some of these cards, but I think it's pretty solid. All right. More water. Everyone have a sip of water. Stay hydrated. Netherwind Portal. New Mage secret. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a random 4-cost minion. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good because sometimes in Arena people just don't play that many spells, right? Like how often like do you play counterspell and then like it just doesn't go off, right? Because like, they don't have many spells, or you know they have a cheap spell to play around it. This is better in the case they have a cheap spell to play around it because you get this effect no matter what. And luckily it's after, right? So if you're playing another mage and they flame strike, it's not going to hit your guy, but you're paying 3 mana for a 4-drop at some point, and it could low roll the 4-drop. I don't really like it. I'm going to say it's below average. How below average? Secret means that it messes with people, so I think that always gives it a little bit of a bump. I'll go with a 2. I think a 2. I was thinking 2.5. I think actually 2 is fair. No, I'm not a big fan. Whoa, this one's super zoomed in. Font of Power. 1 mana, discover a mage minion. Okay. If your deck has no minions, keep all 3. All right, so let's just get this one out of the way. In Arena, it's 1 mana, discover a mage minion. You're obviously this is a card tailored for the spell mage archetype that they're thinking of. It's never going to happen unless you're in fatigue or something, right? Like 99.9% of the time. I still think it's pretty good though, because mage minions are solid. Again, discover means you get to find a card for whatever situation that you're in. So I still think it's good, and oftentimes you'll be able to find a time to fit this into your curve. So yeah, I mean, and you can discover a lot of nutty cards from it. I'm going to say it's like a 3 point. I think this is actually a good card. I'm going to say it's a 3.5. I think other people probably rate a little bit lower. I think this card's really good. It's easy to fit a 1 mana play in, and if you hit one of the nutty cards, it can be game winning. I also just really like Discover, so I'm going to go with that. Imprisoned Observer. 3 mana 4/5, dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. I think it's one of the better dormant cards because it does AoE. If you have it on 3, it will be annoying for your opponent to play around it because you play it, and then eventually when it awakens, you can make trades to likely clear their board. If you draw it later on, but I think in general this one will be pretty damn good. And Mage also does well with cards like this because you have this AoE, and you also might have some other AoE, like an Arcane Explosion to full clear or whatever it may be. So if you combo it with another card, it can be really, really good. I'm going to say it's a 4. I don't think it's quite a 4.5 because if you in the lake, it's a pretty bad topic, I'd say most of the time, but it's good. It's good. Most of the time it'll be good. Deep Freeze. Now is this card this card's 8 mana, right, chat? It says 7 here, but I believe this was taken from a screenshot from the stream today where it had been reduced by 1. So I believe it's an 8 cost here. Yeah. So 8 mana. Deep freeze. Freeze an enemy minion, or freeze an enemy, not just minion. So you can freeze phase 2. Summon 2 3/6 water elementals. Water lilies are good cards. And the freeze isn't irrelevant. Like, you can lock down a big threat and play it. Oh, it says it right here. Hey, it's small, okay? I can barely read that. Yeah, okay. I think it's pretty decent. But okay, so what's that? There's that other mage card that's 8 mana and you summon 2 6-drops. Right? Power of Creation? Is that the name of the card? That card's way better than this. Like, way better, right? I don't know. The question is, how good is the freeze effect? And it's not flexible. Like, you can't play this in ping easily. You have to wait till turn 10. I don't think it's that good. I think it's only okay. I'm going to say it's average. I'm going to go with 3. Average card. All right. 2 mana, 2/3. Apexis Smuggler. After you play a secret, discover a spell. Yeah, so again, I don't really like cards like this where they have good stats and they have a pretty nutty effect. I don't know how many secrets you'll be drafting. In the ideal scenario, you would combo this. So turn 5, you play this and play a secret. But that's not all that reasonable. Yeah, and of course you could chain secrets off it, right? Like if you get this and you get a secret, and then you get a secret off of that, and then the secret off of that. Yeah. But that's pretty. That's sure, it could happen. It could happen. I don't know how likely that is to happen, because you need a secret to start. But what you have to realize is it's still fine. Like, it's a 2 mana 2/3, which is a good stat line, and it has some upside. So I'm going to say it's a 3.5. I don't think it will. People will pop off with this all that much, so I'll go with a 3.5. Apex's Blast. 5 mana, deal 5 damage. If your deck has no minions, summon a random 5-cost minion. So, again, this is built for Spell Mage. It is 5 mana, deal 5, always. The funny thing about this card is it's not that bad. And that's, that's kind of crazy. It's like, even though you'll never get a random 5-cost, you'll draft this card sometimes because it will be up against, like, garbage. It still goes face, so, obviously it's worse than Fireball. It's not a good card, but it's not the worst. I'm going to say it's like a 2 to 2.5. It's probably a 2. 5 mana deal 5 is kind of weak. I'll go with a 2. All right. Astromancer Solarian. 2 mana 3/2. Spell damage +1. Death Rattle, shuffle Solarian Prime into your deck. So once again, with all of these Prime cards, they can't just be a regular good statted minion on the first half. It's a 3/2, which is good stats, and spell damage +1 is totally relevant in Arena. So the first half of it is significantly above average when you play it. And the version that you can draw is a 7 mana 7/7 demon, Solarian Prime, spell damage +1, Battlecry, cast 5 random mage spells, targets enemies if possible. So this is a big distinction here at the bottom. That means that it will likely clear your opponent or deal face damage to them. Like, it will. So if it casts a Fireball, it will never hit your face. right? And I'm assuming based on the wording that it will, like, same thing with any, like, yeah, it will never hit your minions either, right? It will hit their face or their minions always. When it says if possible, I think that distinction is just because some cards like can't go face, right? Like if it gets like it's a flame lance or something, and there's nothing on the board, it's not gonna just zoom into their face. Yeah. Anyhow, it's, again, these primes are just nutty. It's likely gonna give you a board clear or something. So it's either a 4.5 or a 5. You won't see a whole lot of it in Arena. I'm gonna say it's got to be a 5, right? 5 random mage spells. Like, just think about puzzle box. It's half of a puzzle box, but my texting's messing up again. It's half of a. It's not a 2. Half of a puzzle box, but it gives you a body, right? Yeah, it can also get puzzle box. True. Yeah, very good. This is kind of small, but Evocation. I'm really excited about this card. I don't know about you guys, but this one just seems fun. It'll be fun when I play it. 1 mana, fill your hand with random mage spells. At the end of your turn, discard them. So you generally will want to play this later in the game where, you have more mana to use whatever you get out of it. And the chances that, like, I think oftentimes you'll have maybe 3 or 4 cards in hand, so it'll give you like six or so mage spells. And it could give you draw, and it could, give you face damage. Good chance to find lethal if you play it. So yeah, this card is very, very good. I'm going to say it's a 4.5. I'm going to go with a 4.5. Sometimes you'll whiff on them, or sometimes you get cards that, aren't great in the situation, but it's very good. And sometimes your hand will be full, right? There's a chance of that too. But generally, it's going to be very good. Okay. That's it. That's all the mage ones. So we didn't get we didn't get any new mage like AoE, right? Did I miss anything? Or burn or anything? We didn't, right? Kind of surprised. Oh, we got the dormant minion. That's true. We got the minion. Yeah. The 5 mana 5 damage run. Yeah, but that's a pretty bad one, right? So I feel like the mage class didn't get a bunch of good stuff in this one. All right, moving on. Paladin, right? Yep. Okay, Paladin, let's do it. Keep it going. Underlight Angling Rod. 3 mana, 3/2 weapon. After your hero attacks, add a random Murloc to your hand. So it's a fiery war axe with pretty decent upside. When I first saw this card and talked about on stream, in my brain, I thought it pulls a Murloc from your deck, and so you need to have a Murloc to get value from it. But no, it just gives you a random Murloc. So unless it gets oozed, you're going to get a fiery war axe and 2 cards. Generally, Murlocs in Arena are kind of low value, but still, it gives you something, and the weapon is good. So I like this card a lot. Generally, Paladin weapons are quite good. There's a lot of 3/4s right now, so it's not going to be the best at killing 3-drops, but I still think it's really good. It's a 4 or a 4.5? Honestly, I think it's a 4.5. I think Paladin weapons are great. It gives you fuel, and sometimes Paladin has trouble finding time to draw cards. This just gives you stuff. So I think it's great. 4.5. Aldor Attendant. 2 mana, 2/3. Battlecry. Reduce the cost of your Librams by 1 this game. So Librams are... What's the best way to describe Librams? It's a new type of cards that's coming in the Ashes of Outland. And there are cards that reduce them, and then the reduction is permanent for the game, right? Like, is there anything else we need to know about Librams, chat? Okay, yeah, you guys can make fun of my pronunciation all you want. Librams? That is it, Librams? Whatever. Yeah, they're all spells. True. And we'll go through them as we'll see them soon anyways. But yeah, as far as this card, you'll have to draft a Libram for it to be, have upside, but it's still a 2-mana 2/3. So it's a 2-drop with upside. So I feel like 3.5 is appropriate for these type of cards. Most of the time it won't do anything, but if there's, I'm assuming there will be an offering bonus for the new set, so it might not be all that unlikely that you'll have Librams in your deck. We're going to say it every single type of way. Hand of Adal. 2 mana, give a minion +2/+2, draw a card. Nutty. This card is really good. Paladins love buffs, and it's a buff that also gives you a card. It reminds me a bit of that, I forget the name of the card, but it was 2 mana, give a minion Divine Shield and draw a card. Kind of a similar type of effect. Like some are better in some situations than other. Another good, Mark of Yasharaj is another good example. That was a Druid card where you drew a card if you put in a beast. But this, it doesn't matter what you put it on. Potion of Heroism. That's the Paladin card I was thinking of. You always get the card draw. So this is great. I'm going to say it's a 4.5. I don't think it will create the type of swings of like a 5 type card in my mind, but it's very, very solid. All right, Libram of Justice. For 6 mana, equip a 1/4 weapon, change the health of all enemy minions to 1. So you get equality, that's one-sided, and then you get a weapon that allows you to remove at least one thing. So even if it just hits to remove one card, like one big threat, it's still pretty decent because you get to keep the weapon, right? I think it's quite good. And Paladins oftentimes, in Arena or just in general have, their hero powers around on the board, other token-like cards. And so I think it's really good. I don't think it's quite a 5. I think it's either a 4 or a 4.5. I'm gonna go with a 4.5. I think it's quite good. Yep. Good. Imprisoned Sungill. 1 mana 2/1 Murloc, dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, summon 2 1/1 Murlocs. I think this is one of the weaker dormant cards. Obviously, the idea behind this card is that you're going to have Murloc synergy, so you're going to make more use of this. If you play it on 1, it's still going to be good, but by the time it wakes up, the 1/1s are less relevant anyways. I think it's fairly weak. I'm going to say this one is a 2. And if you draw it late in the game, it's not even, like, you have to wait essentially 3 turns to do anything with it, right? Because you have to remember with the dormant cards, unless they have Rush, it's dormant for 2 turns, and then when it awakens, it can't attack. It has summoning sickness. So you have to wait another turn before you can do it. Like, attack with it. So I think it's pretty weak. Libram of Wisdom. Give a minion 2 mana, give a minion +1/+1, and Death Rattle add a Libram of Wisdom spell to your hand. So this is, we had a card like this for Hunter. What was the name of that card? It was a hat card, right? What's the name of that thing? Explorer's Hat. Yeah. Explorer's Hat. And that card was, it was very average. Like, it was okay, but it very rarely did a whole lot. Pretty sure it's Libram. Wasn't that what I start with? I thought I started with Libram. Anyhow, the idea is if this gets reduced, it could be nutty. So if you reduce it twice, then it would be free, and then you could just like chain them. Like throw it on something, trade it in for free again. I think if you make it 1 mana, it's significantly better though, right? Like significantly better. Yeah, it's okay. Average? Maybe a little bit low average. 3? 2.5? 3, because maybe it will get... I think it's a 2.5. I don't think it's that bad, though. Because if you discount it, it's nutty, right? It's okay. Aldor Trueseeker. 5 mana, 4/6. Taunt, Battlecry, reduce the cost of your Librams or Librams, whatever type of Brams you want, by 2 this game. You know, it's really nice that they didn't make these cards that have positive effects be understated, right? You know, like everything's just good. So it's like you get a free effect with it. A 5 mana 4/6 taunt is good. So regardless of the effect, and if you hit it on this thing, then all of a sudden that card's nutty. So yeah, it can't be bad. A 5 mana 4/6 is above average, and it has a chance to hit one of these cards and then be very good. So I'm gonna say it's like a 4. It's between a 4 and a 4.5. 4/6 taunt's good. Okay, and then now, Libram of Hope. 9 mana, restore 8 health. Summon an 8/8 Guardian with Taunt and Divine Shield. So if you reduce it, it's going to be disgusting. Even if you play it on turn 9, it's not bad because you can heal a minion as well. Like you can target where you heal. So you get a 8/8 Divine Shield Taunt, and you get some healing. So I think it's very, 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 very good. I would say I'm going to go with a 4.5. I think 4.5. It's between a 4 and a 4.5. It's definitely not a 5 because it's slow, right? But I'm going to go with a 4.5. Ancient Guardian. 8 mana, 8/8. Oh. This is just the text. I thought it was a new card. That's just the... Okay, moving on. I just wanted to have a break and get some water. Murgurgle. 2 mana, 2/1. Divine Shield. Death Rattle. Shuffle Murgurgle Prime into your deck. I like saying Murgurgle. So, 2 mana, 2/1 with Divine Shield. That's pretty good. So, it's a little bit worse than a shot bot, right? But it's still decent. Like, I would say this is better than your average 2-drop, right? Like, I'd say that I'd rather have this card than, like, a 3/2. Probably. So, yeah, I mean, it's a slightly worse mini-bot. It's the same, like, mini-bot and shot-bot, right? I think it's pretty good. It's not just a 2 mana 2/3 because, like, you can get a free kill into something that's higher attacked. I think it's significantly better. And then the Prime version, 8 mana 6/3, Divine Shield with the Battle Cry, summon 4 random Murlocs, give them Divine Shield. That's a lot of stuff on the board. And they all have Divine Shield. Wow. I mean, sometimes the Murlocs will be crappy, but it's still, if you get it off, it's going to be insane, right? I think this one isn't a 5. It might... Is it a 4.5 or a 4? I feel like it's like a 4. Really? It's so much stuff on the board, though. Listen, everything's a 4.5, right? If it's a 4.5, I don't have to change my text. It's still really good. Again, you won't see these a lot, like the legendary cards, but I'm going to say it's a 4.5. Again. Lady Liadrin. 7 mana, 4/6. Battle Cry. Add a copy of each spell you cast on friendly characters this game to your hand. Too slow, right? It's too slow. Because you play a 7 mana 4/6. It's just too slow. And you need to have quite a... Like, it is a lot of value, but I just think it's too slow. I'm going to give it a 2. You can't get away with playing a 7-mana 4/6 as like your whole turn. All right. Why are these so small? Okay, that's the end of Paladonger. Now moving on to Priest. So one thing to note about Priest, we have to think about these cards in the context of the new Priest basic classic cards, which are nutty. Like they basically upgraded most of the Priest cards, and so yeah, I think Priest is gonna be pretty gross. Anyhow, review them too. I've done that before. They're all better versions, basically, except for Power Word Shield. If you're wondering how I feel about the updated preset, I think every single card gets better, except Shield gets a lot worse. Anyhow, Priest. Ashes of Outland. Renew. 1 mana, restore 3 health, discover a spell. It's good. Right? It's really good. Restore 3 health, discover a spell. So you'd like to use it on a minion, but if you don't, you know, getting 3 health and spells are generally better than minions, right? So it's good. It's quite good. I'm going to go with a 4. Discovering spells is pretty strong. It's a 3.5 or 4. We'll go with a 4. Apotheosis? How did I do there? Apotheosis? 3 mana, give a minion +2, +3, and lifesteal. So more buffs. And I think Priest is very much going to be like they're trying to shift it to a build up your board. Like they have that 2-drop that gives health. There's significantly more buffs now. I think it's good. +2, +3, and lifesteal. So it can, you know, if you put this on an already high attack minion, it can be, you know, a big heal. Like you put it on a 5/5 or something, you get 7 healing. So I think that fact means that it's still going to be quite relevant in the late game, where you're oftentimes dying as a priest and trying to stabilize. So, I'm going to say this one is it's a 3.5 or a 4. I'm going to go with a 3.5. It's not, like, I don't think it's quite enough health. If it was like +2, +4, then nutty. Wait, don't we have that? I think that's one of the new cards, right? Isn't that the 4-drop? I think it's something like that. Anyhow, it's good, though. It's good. Oh, that's Velen's Chosen. Okay. Oh, yeah, the 4-drop is +2, 6. Yeah, that's right. But it's good. I mean, lifesteal is relevant. On to the next one. Dragon Maw Overseer. 3 mana 2/2. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion +2/+2. So this is one of those cards that will either be insane or awful. If you have a minion on the board, then it's going to be really good. Because on that turn, it's basically a 4/4, right? And then if you buff up something, like I can very much see you coin out like a 3/4, and then you play this, and then now you have an overstatted minion, which can like protect it, etc., etc. So I think generally it will be good. If you're behind, it's bad. So I think I would say this one's a 4. Because it has to be answered. So, all right. Psyche Split. Or Psyche Split, I think is what it is. 5 mana. Give a minion +1/+2. Summon a copy of it. So it's similar to those other summon a copy of it, but this one you get extra stats on it. But you pay 1 more mana for the effect. But those extra stats mean you might be able to use it to free kill something. I think it's okay. Like, good-ish. It again requires you to have something on the board, so if you're behind, it's useless. unless you can combo it with like a 3-drop in hand or something. It's okay. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say it's 3. Okay. Any minion? Wait, yes, I know. What do you mean any minion? So? Or are you going to use it on your opponent's minions? That's probably not the play. Arena Master Dread's here to let you guys know. The ideal way to use this card is to put it on your minions. Okay? Most likely. Like, I know what you're saying, right? So if your opponent has like a big dude, you can get a copy of it, and they get +1/+2 on it, and then you can get a copy of it, right? But that's not generally how you want to use it, right? So, yeah. Pro tips coming at you. Sethic Veilweaver. 2 mana, 2/3. After you cast a spell on a minion, add a priest spell to your hand. If you cast a spell on a minion, add a priest spell to your hand. Wow. And the thing is, we're getting a lot of good cards for this. So like that 3-drop we just saw, the new +2/+6 4-drop. Shield, although I think is a lot weaker, is still very good with this card. And of course, like all of these damn cards, it's got a good stat line on its own. So it's good. It's quite good. I'm going to say it's a 4. Because I think the upside on this one, with the cards that are getting added and the new cards that are coming, I think it's pretty likely you'll get off some of that synergy. All right. Oh, boy. I still haven't decided if I love or hate this next card, chat. I think I'll love it when I play it, and I'll hate it when my opponents play it. The next card is Skeletal Dragon. It's a 7 mana 4/9 with Taunt. At the end of your turn, add a dragon to your hand. And generally, the dragons that are around right now are insane. Like, you're probably going to get a good dragon. Sure, you get a fairy dragon or whatever, but you can get a tyrant. You can get a Murazond. Oh god, they play this and then they get Murazond. Oh man. But anyhow, it's very, very good. 4 attack is a little bit on the low side for turn 7, like a little bit. So I think that does have to be, considered. It's either a 4.5 or a 5. I'm just trying to figure out which one. It's hard to kill on the turn that's played because it's got 9 health. So there's a good chance you're going to get 2 dragons off of it. I'm going to say it's a 5. Because there are very few cards I take over it. And it's fun, too. It's an extra, 0.02 for fun. Okay? Reliquary of Souls. 1 mana, 1/3. Lifesteal. Death Rattle, shuffle Reliquary Prime into your deck. So what does Reliquary Prime do? 7 mana, 6/8. Taunt, Lifesteal. Only you can target this with spells and hero powers. So interesting. It's another one of these untargetable, except it's a priest card, and oftentimes those untargetables, it's a little awkward in priest because you can't heal them. Now, your opponents can't interact with it with their hero power spells, but you can still heal it. And it's, a Bog Creeper in stats, right? 7 mana, 6/8. It's good. It's quite good. It's not as insane as some of the other primes, though, when you draw it. Like, just think of some of the other ones where you get, 4/4/4s, or, 2 giant minions with Rush and Taunt. Like, it's not on that level. So I think it's actually one of the weaker ones of the prime cards. It's still good. I'm going to say this is a 4. Say it's a 4. A 1 mana 1/3 is good and has a lifesteal. So if you buff it, you get, this can be quite good as a 1-drop. But I feel like the prime that you draw, which is the big payoff, isn't as insane. Because you oftentimes you won't even draw the primes. So when you do draw it, it needs to be really good for it to be a great card. It's good, but yeah. All right, this is one of the cards that I think is tough to evaluate from the new expansion. Soul Mirror. 7 mana. Summon copies of enemy minions. They attack their copies. I don't know about this one. I don't think it's that great because generally if you're paying 7 mana for a spell like this, you want it to be a board clear. You know? Like a Psychic Scream type thing or whatever. Or like Mass Hysteria, which is oftentimes a clear. That's a 5 mana card. I don't think it's very good. Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit earlier with Merps and Merps. They kind of feel like a bad light bomb, and I think that's fairly accurate. Like it's an AOE that isn't reliable, in my opinion, because it oftentimes will leave some things on the board that are hard to finish off. So I'm not a big fan. I'm gonna say this card it's still like an oh shit button, which is something because it could bail you out, and there's a lot to be said for cards that could bail you out. So I think it's still okay. Probably I would say it's a 3 or a 3.5. I would say it's a 3 or 3.5. I'll go with a 3.5 because I think comeback cards are still very valuable for Priest. But I think this card is going to be very weird to use. Very weird to use. Because obviously, the upside about this card is if you have a board, it doesn't kill your board off, right? Like that is true. That's totally true. But in my experience, when you need a card like this, you don't have the board. Like, you're losing. Otherwise, you're not going to pay 7 mana for it. Right? Like, so, for me, it's just a card that doesn't make a whole lot of sense and when it's going to be great. So, yeah, I think 3.5. All right, moving on to Rogue. Rogue time. Rogue time. Did you guys know rogues do it from behind? I bet you guys didn't know that. They do. It's true. They backstab. Little shitters. Okay. The first rogue card is Spy Mistress. 1 mana, 3/1 stealth. That's it. That's the card. And you know what? That card is really, really good. Rogue has some cards we'll see later that get value off of stealth minions, so it even gets a bonus for that. Although I don't think those combos will happen all that often, but a 1 mana 3/1 is just really good. Like, it will kill most 2-drops. I don't know how many effects we'll have where you can ping it out of stealth in this expansion. I haven't seen that much of it, but it's just quite good. A way above average 1-drop. Like a 4? I don't want to say it's a 5 or like a 4.5 because it's like a 4 or 4.5 though. It's really good. It's really, really good. A 1-drop that almost always kills a 2-drop, and you can keep it stealthed until you want to use it. I'm going to change my mind. Upgraded to 4.5. Boom. We did it. We changed our mind. Moving on. Dirty Tricks. 2 mana. Secret. After your opponent casts a spell, draw 2 cards. So we're getting more rogue secrets in this expansion. And I would say for the first time ever, the rogue secrets are actually good. I think this is probably the weakest of them, but they're actually good, and they're going to be really annoying to play against. Like, unbelievably annoying to play against. So this one is 2 mana, Dirty Tricks. Secret. After your opponent casts a spell, draw 2 cards. So at some point, you'll likely get 2 cards. You don't know when that will be because sometimes people don't have that many secrets. But it also means that people have to play around your other secrets too. So I think this is, in my opinion, the weakest of the 3 and significantly weaker than the others. But it's still okay. 2 mana for 2 cards and something that your opponents have to play around. I think it's still pretty good. I'm gonna say this one is like an average card. I'm going to say 3. 3. 3. Cursed Vagrant. Oh, man. This card. You guys remember... You guys know Ravenhold Assassin? Well, this is a Ravenhold Assassin on the back end. You also get a 7/5 to start. So yeah, it's Cursed Vagrant, 7 mana 7/5, Death Rattle summon a 7/5 Shadow with Stealth. So 7 attack means it will kill most other things on that turn. And the thing that makes this card, I think, will be very frustrating to play against, because it's hard to ignore it because it does 7 damage, but killing it doesn't really protect you from the damage because they get another 7 damage minion. So I think, I tend to like to play Rogue fairly aggressive in Arena, and I think this card is just great for that. I think this is a pretty easy 5, in my opinion. It's one of those, like, you need a transform effect, or you're probably going to lose. Or you need to outrace them, right? All right. Blackjack Stunner. 1 mana, 1/2. Battlecry. If you control a secret, return a minion to its owner's hand. It costs 2 more. So, thankfully, it's a rare card, so we won't probably see all that much of it. But it's insane. So this is a 1-drop that you never tempo on 1, I would say. Like, basically never, unless you don't have secrets in your deck. Because you save it with a secret for 3 mana targeted freezing trap. And if you have 2 secrets, you could do like 2 freezing traps, right? It's pretty insane. I don't know how often you will have secrets, though. So that's what we have to think about. If you don't have secrets, it's a 1 mana 1/2. So before we get all crazy about it, but I think the fact that it's so insane if you do have a secret, and I'm going to be drafting rogue secrets pretty highly. So I think this card is like it's like a 3.5, I would say. I'm going to go with a 3.5. Because it's a card that has the potential to be like a 5, right? If you actually draft a few secrets. And the truth is, everyone like memes about it being a 1/2 if you don't have them, but 1-drops that are combo activators aren't that bad in Rogue anyway. So it's a class where, even in the worst case, you can find some uses for this. All right. Ashtongue Slayer. Sorry, it's a little bit small again. 2 mana, 3/2. Battlecry, give a stealth minion +3 attack and immune this turn. Oh boy. So are you guys ready for like turn 1, 3/1 stealth? Turn, like, you don't want to play your 3-drop or whatever and do it because it free kills it, so you you wait and play a Yeti, and then they put this on the 3/1 and free kill your dude. Good times. Again, that's the super high roll possibility, but this is a card that, good stats, not going to be bad. It's a 2 mana 3/2, and it's got some upside. I don't think the upside will trigger very often, so I think it's only a little bit better than average. I feel like 3.5 is okay. All right, it's the same rating as the last card for a different reason, because tempoing this card is much better than tempoing a 1/2. All right, Ambush. Very good secret. So 2 mana secret. When your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/3 ambusher with poisonous. Do they have the card here? Yeah. It's going to be really frustrating to play against, because there's less you can do about triggering this. If you compare it to Venom Strike, where sometimes you can just go face and ignore it. This one, if they play the secret and you have to just drop a 5-drop and you don't have the board, it's going to kill it, or it could be even worse. So this card, I think, is very, 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 very good. I'm going to say it's a 4.5. 4.5. Yep. Seems good. All right, next one. Greyheart Sage. 3 mana, 3/3, Battlecry. If you control a stealth minion, draw 2 cards. So it's more stealth support, but I have to. You know what we should do later on? We should go back and see how many stealth minions are going to be around. Like how many stealth minions do we have in Standard that will pop up in Rogue? Obviously, like Tiger is around because that's just a card. The 5 mana 5/5 stealth, but this card, it really depends on how much stealth we have. A lot of these cards depend on that. A 3 mana 3/3 is terrible, I would say, in this meta because there's so many 3/4s, right? Yeah, there are definitely a few of them. We can talk about it later, but there's definitely a few of them. I just don't know if it's going to be reliable enough. I'm going to say this card is like, I'll go with average because I think it's below average stats these days. Really, like a 3/3 is like, eh. And I don't think the effect will go off that often. But if it does, lol. I am really glad this secret is an epic. Because if this card was everywhere, I would be so pissed. This is just a frustrating card to play against an arena where generally you have to trade into minions. And anyhow, let me. Sometimes I do this where I forget to tell you what the card is and start talking about it because I get into it and get annoyed or mad or whatever it is. Bamboozle. 2 mana secret. When one of your minions is attacked, transform it into a random one that costs 3 more. So you swing that dagger into that 3/1, and the stupid thing about it is you still hit into it. Like, I don't know what the sound is, but it's probably like a oops, like that goddamn ogre sound. And then you swing in and hit, a 6 attack minion or something, and have to take the damage or whatever it is. Or your minion just dies trying to get a free kill, etc. So it's... I hate it. I hate this card. It's really good, too. I'm going to say it's like a 4.5. I love it so much. I feel like it's one of those cards that in Arena is just going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive me crazy. Like, because it's so hard to play around effects like that because you tend to have to kind of remove minions. Maybe it's just, we just smork. If the rogue plays secret, we just go face. Anyhow, I'm glad that rogue has some playable secrets, but this one, it's going to tilt me, I think. All right. Shadow Jeweler Hanar. 2 mana 1/5. After you play a secret, discover a secret from a different class. So this is a very interesting card. Legendary, so you won't see it. You won't see it all that often. But and I think we have a distinction on this one, if I remember correctly. So after you play a secret from, let's say, Mage, you can't discover another Mage, right? Secret, yeah. So it's like, if you play a Mage secret, you'll get Hunter, Paladin, or Rogue stuff, right? Yeah. A 1/5 is kind of hard to remove, so I think it will still, it depends on how often you see secrets, like, because this one is an epic, so it won't be all that common in Arena. What are the other rarities? This is a rare. I think the first one was okay, this one's a common, so you'll see that one more often. But yeah, it just depends on how many secrets you have. But if you do have a secret with it, it can be really, really good. Because you can fill up your turn with secrets. If you have a lot of mana, like if you have a secret, there's no stage in the game where this won't be good. Because you can just chain into another one, all of a sudden you have a full used all of your mana on secrets. So I don't think that's all that realistic to have happened in Arena, but a 2 mana 1/5 isn't even that bad. So again, its stats are fine. And it's got some upside. So I'm going to say it's like you You guys are making fun of a 2-mana 1/5. It's not that bad. It's hard to kill. It's not terrible. I see some Keck W's about 2-mana 1/5. It's okay. It's all right. I'll believe in a little bit of the upside. I'll go with a 3.5 here. Yeah, Framebot. Framebot was better because you could magnetize it, right? Magnetize onto it, but yeah. All right, Akama. 3-mana 3/4 stealth, death rattle, shuffle Akama Prime into your deck. So once again, like a lot of these Prime cards, it's good when you play it the first time. 3-mana 3/4, and it has the upside of stealth. So it's going to be good the first time it comes around. When it comes back, it's a 6-mana 6/5 that is permanently stealthed. So I'm assuming that this means that you can hit into a minion, like you can kill a Yeti or whatever it is, and then it goes back to being stealth, right? And you can keep it stealth as long as you want. And the other effects that remove, like flare and stuff, I don't think they work with this. Is that correct? Correct? Like, any of the things that remove things from stealth don't affect it, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's quite good. How is it as insane as some of the primes? I don't think it's like on the level of the primes that pull, 20/20 or something in stats on like turn 8. So obviously it's good with these other cards, like the cards that we talked about that have stealth synergy. But in Arena, it's unlikely that you're going to have all those cards line up. It's still good. Like if you guys remember, there was a 5-mana 5/5 Panda card. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Something of the Lotus. And that card had stealth. And then every time it killed a minion, it got stealth again. Yeah, Lotus Assassin, yeah. And that card was quite good. And so this one... Wait. I was just thinking about something. Wait, you could just hit people in the face with it, and then it goes back stealth. Right? You just like smork with it, and then it just chills again. And you like smork with it again, and then you just, yeah. So like the idea is like you smork with it, right? I don't know why that just dawned on me, but it's really, really good for smorking. I'm going to say it's a 4 for Arena. It's good. Maybe even a 4.5. But I'm gonna go with a 4, because sometimes you'll have to just use it to trade, right? If you're not ahead or you're losing or whatever. So, all right, Totemic Reflection. 3 mana, give a minion +2/+2. If it's a totem, summon a copy of it. Actually good totem support, chat. Are you guys ready for Totem Shaman? Totem Shaman in Arena? And one thing that I like about this card is it's not restricted to totems. So you can play it on a minion if you want, right? Oh yeah, we're on different class. True. For anyone, I'm gonna so one thing to note when I post this on YouTube, I'm gonna keep it all as one review, but I'm gonna put the timestamp of when I swap to different classes in the description. So if you want to jump around, it's easier to do it. So this is Starter Shaman. This is not Totem Rogue. That's not happening. Anyhow, so Totemic Reflection. Give a minion +2/+2 if it's a totem, summon a copy of it. What I like about this card is that you can play it on a minion. So, although it's inefficient, the fact that it's not... Because sometimes in Arena, even playing a card inefficiently can be good. Sometimes you just need that buff on another minion, and you can do that with this. So I like that aspect of it a lot. And worst case, you like totem, play this on the totem, and then you have, oftentimes, what is it? 2/4s. 2/4s. And they could, they could heal each other, or they could have taunt, or they could have spell power, whatever. So I like the card a lot. I think it's pretty good as well. Not insane, but pretty good. I'm going to say this one is also a 4. All right. Trying to keep hydrated with coffee. Does that work? I'm not sure. All right. Serpent Shrine Portal. 3 mana. Deal 3 damage, summon a random 3-cost minion, overload 1. It's really good. It's really, really good. So it reminds me a lot of Flanking Strike, right? And Flanking Strike was a hunter card, 4 mana, deal 3 damage to... Flanking Strike couldn't go face, right? No, it was deal 3 damage to a minion. Summon a 3/3. See, this one can even go face. Deal 3 damage. And I would say with the quality of 3-drops that we're getting, I haven't done the math, but I would guess that you're gonna get a 3/3 or better on average. Someone would have to go back and I'm sure someone will do the math on that. So I feel like it's going to be most of the time a better Flanking Strike because it comes out 1 turn earlier too. Like, yeah, you have the overload, but having it come down on turn 3 is pretty nutty. There's a new 3-mana 3/7 taunt too. Oh, my opponents will definitely get that one. But anyhow, it's great. It's really, really good. I'm going to say it's a 4.5. 4.5. Super strong card. All right, Marsh Spawn. 3-mana 3/4. So again, more, another example of Spider Tank is just becoming more and more the norm. All right. 3-mana 3/4. Battlecry, if you cast a spell last turn, discover a spell. And it also has the elemental tag, so it's got some synergy in that, right? If you play it on turn 3, it's probably not going to have the effect. But it's one of those things where oftentimes I think in this meta you will have multiple 3/4s. Like there's a decent chance you have multiple 3/4s in your hand. So it's one that you can hold a little bit longer for value. It's a 3/4 with quite significant upside because in the late game, mid to late game, there's a good chance you will be able to use it for the upside. So I think this one is I want to say it's a 4. Oh yeah, coining it. That's actually a good point. Well, you coin like another 3 into it, right? Like you coin another 3, and then the next turn you play it. Yeah. That would be pretty nasty. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 4. It's quite good though. All right, Bog Strock Clacker. Last turn. Yes. Why is that hard? Why is everyone saying last turn? So, you coin out another 3-drop. Then the next turn, you play this card. Does that make sense? Do I need to break it down any slower? Do you all got that? Okay. Okay. Bog Stroke Clacker. 3-mana 3/3. Battlecry. Transform adjacent minions into random minions that cost 1 more. So, this is a card where if you're ahead, it's going to be great in Arena. Because generally, again, lots of 3/4s. So if we'll just go with the coining 3/drops example. You coin out a 3/4, get a kill on their 3/2, let's say, and then use this on it, and then turn your 3-drop into a 4-drop. It's also a card where in the late game, it still holds a lot of value because the same idea. Like these type of cards of evolve effects are really good in Arena because a lot of it is taking advantageous trades, and then you're left with a weakened minion that gets pinged off or hit by AoE. So the trade into something and then upgrade it, it's gonna be really good. It's either a 4.5 or a 5. I'll go with it being a 5. I'll go with it being a 5. I'm thinking of like Master of Evolution, right? If you guys remember that card. So Master of Evolution was a 4-mana 4/5 that transformed a minion into something that cost 1 more. Or cost 1 more. The thing about that card though is it was better stats on its own because it was a Yeti. But this transforms 2 potentially. So I think it's better than that. All right. Vivid Spores, 4 mana. Give your minions Death Rattle, re-summon this minion. So a lot of these type of effects, like these summon a copy of or Death Rattle minions, give your minions. Wait, like all of your minions, right? Give your minions. Yeah, we saw it in the in the reveal thing today. It's very much a win more card, right? Like if you're behind, it's pretty useless. But if you're ahead, it can very well close out the game, right? Yeah. Soul of the Forest, but your existing minions. Yeah. How good is that in Arena? So yeah, Ancestral Spirit's a 2-mana card, which is pretty solid. Yeah, it works on untargetables. I think because it's so bad when you're behind, it's not great. I would say it's like average. I'm gonna say I could be wrong about this one, but I think in Arena this card's gonna be about average. Because if you hit it on 2 big minions, you just win, right? But if you hit it on 1 big minion, it's not necessarily game winning. But this will be one that we have to play with, I think, to really know. I'm gonna go with a 3. Torrent. 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion, costs 3 less if you cast a spell last turn. So this is quite good. Even if you didn't cast a spell the previous turn, 5 mana, deal 8. It's like a Flame Lance, right? Which is a fine card. Flame Lance is decent removal, not insane, but Shaman I would say is a class that struggles more with removal than Mage. So to get this type of removal is good. And if you did cast a spell, then you're dealing 8 for 2 mana, which is pretty good. I don't think it's a 5. I think because I think oftentimes it will be paid. You will pay the full price for it. It's either a 4 or 4.5. I would say it's like a 4.25, but that's just being annoying. I'll go with a 4.5. If we break it down into quarter points, oh boy, we'll be here all night. 4.5. Shattered Rumbler. 5 mana, 4/6 elemental tag. Battlecry. If you cast a spell last turn, deal 2 damage to all other minions. So it's not single-sided. It doesn't just hit your opponent's board. That would be bonkers. I'm glad it doesn't just do that. But with these double-sided AoE cards, we've seen them again and again with things like Abyssal Enforcer or the Warlock Dragon right now that does 3. Like you set up situations for it to be good. So I think this will also be quite a good card. And the stats are good, right? Again, 5 mana, 4/6, good stat line for Arena. I don't know how much elemental synergy we have right now, but I guess we'll see. I think this one is like I think it's a 4.5. I was like, it's either a 4 or 4.5. I think it's a 4.5 again. Because even if you just use this 2 damage to kill 1 minion and then develop a finely statted minion, that's good enough. So. Bog Spine Knuckles. 5 mana, 4/2 weapon. After a hero attacks, transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 more. All of your minions again, right? Transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 more. It should be good again, right? It should be good. It's sometimes you have minions you don't really want to transform, but since you're transforming to cost 1 more, it should still be good. And the 4 damage breakpoint is still okay on turn 5. Like oftentimes I'll play a True Silver on turn 5 and it will still be a good turn. I'm gonna say it's quite good. Am I really gonna go 4.5 again? This is the 4.5 stream. I don't think it's a 5. I think it's better than a 4. Welcome to the 4.5 stream. But yeah, very, very good. 4.5. Lady Vash. 3 mana, 4/3. Spell damage +1. Death Rattle. Shuffle Vash J Prime into your deck. So once again, good statted 3-drop. 3 mana, 4/3. Probably a little bit worse than the 3/4, but still fine. And you get spell damage on it. The Prime is a 7 mana 5/4, spell damage +1, battle cry, draw 3 spells, reduce their cost by 3. Reduce their cost by 3. Oh, draw 3 spells. So you need to play the first version of the Prime. Then you need to draw this. Play it. You need to have 3 spells. And you need those spells to be... like, for it to be really insane, you need the discount to matter. I don't think this one's that good in Arena. It's significantly worse than the other Primes. I think this is like probably an average card. Because I don't think you'll get enough spells for it to be great. And by the time you've played the first version, shuffled into your deck, and drawn this one, you'll probably have drawn a lot of them anyways, so... I'm going to say a 3. It's like a 3 or 2.5 in my mind. I'll go with a 3. Spell damage is good in Shaman. So I don't think... you shouldn't neglect the fact that this makes, this plus Lightning Storm quite good. But I'm going to go with 3. All right. The Lurker Below. Wait, this... I remember killing this dude in... is it Serpentine Cavern? Back in my raiding days? I remember killing this dude. It was a fun fight. I played a lot of Outland, so this expansion actually brings me back a lot to WoW days. I spent so much of my life playing the Outland expansion. All right, 6 mana, 6/3. I see a lot of cool story bros in chat. 6 mana, 6/3. Battle Cry. Deal 3 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, repeat on one of its neighbors. This card is really good. Like, really, 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 really good. It's like Fire Ellie. It can't go face, but it can be a board clear a lot of the time. And you can set it up in such a way that will likely be a board clear. I think this is a 4.5. 4.5. Everyone's like, why don't you make it a 5? Well, I reserve 5s for, like, the most insane of the insane. But yeah, it can chain. Yeah. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If it dies, repeat on one of its neighbors, right? I'm assuming. Deal 3 to an enemy minion. If it dies, repeat on one of its neighbors. That to me means it keeps going. Yeah. It chains, yeah. It will have a beast tag? Oh, they're adding that? Huh. Interesting. Okay. I don't think that matters too much for Arena, but okay. Nightshade Matron. 4 mana, 5/5 demon. Rush, battle cry, discard your highest cost card. So when I saw this card, I immediately knew it was going to be a little tough for me to evaluate it. Like, we're on to Warlock, by the way. Yeah, thanks. I saw when Stein added me, I was like, Stein's going to say, that's the end of Shaman. We're now on to Warlock. Pro streamer, by the way. Rush, battle cry, discard your highest cost card. Evaluate Hand of Gul'dan first. Well, Hand of Gul'dan is the draw one, right? The draw 3. So obviously, like, it's for constructed, that's a combo that you can pull off. But in Arena, I feel like it's one of those things where it's very unlikely that will be the card the exact highest cost card you have, right? So I think for me, it's a big difference to discard the highest cost card than your lowest cost card. Oftentimes you just discard cards, you throw away a 1-drop or something. But losing a big high impact card feels kind of bad in Arena. So it's good tempo, but I feel like the loss of a high card at that stage in the game is fairly bad. I still think it's probably above average because you can tap for more cards, but I'm going to say this one is a 3.5. I think generally people will rate it higher than that. I would say most people think so, but I feel like it's not going to be that good. But we'll see. Unstable Fellbolt. 1 mana, deal 3 damage to an enemy minion and a random friendly one. What? Deal 3 damage to an enemy minion and a random friendly one. Okay, so the idea is you have like tokens, right? And they have a big target to hit. Oh, but if you don't have anything, then it's good, right? Like if you're, yeah, so if you're like going into your turn 3 and they play something, then it's really good if you got nothing on the board, right? And I'm guessing they don't have to have a minion for it to work. Deal 3 damage to an enemy minion and a random friendly one. Because I would guess that's how it works, similar to like how now you can play Cleave if there's only one target. So, I still think this is going to be awkward. Like, the best case is you play it in the early to mid game, but I still think it's going to be kind of awkward in a lot of cases. Where it goes is going to matter a lot, so. Yeah, you choose enemy if you have no minions, just 1 mana, deal 3. Okay, yeah. I think, or you play a death route on me like eggs, but yeah, again, but this is for all my reviews for Arena, right? So how, like, are you going to have an egg, like, chilling on your board at the time you play it? So, I think this one is, for Arena, I would say this card is below average. I'm going to say a 2. Because I don't like cards where if it gets to the mid or late game, it's really hard to use. Maybe it's a 2.5, but I'm going to stick with a 2. All right, Hand of Gul'dan. When you play or discard this, draw 3 cards. 6 mana. So it's a combo card. Like, you would never want to play this in Warlock, in Arena. Like, just 6 mana for drawing 3 is terrible. Because it's just way too slow. So if you're able to make it, like, again, if you're able to draft this card, and it's a common card, so you probably see it a decent amount. But if you get this card and this together, like, it's nutty, right? But I just don't think that's going to be that common. So, because what's the rarity of this one? Actually, they're both common though. So it might not be as crazy as I am making it out to be, but I still think it's going to be below average. I'm going to say this is a significantly below average. I'm going to say this is a 1.5. Boom. Imprisoned Scrap Imp. 2 mana 3/3. It's a demon tag. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, give all minions in your hand +2/+2. +2/+2 is a lot. So if you guys remember Arena Fanatic, which I'm sure all of you do, Arena Fanatic was really bad. But it also was a 4 mana 2/3, and it basically did nothing when it was played because it got free killed anyways. And this one gives you +1/1 over Arena Fanatic. And it's in Warlock, right? So it's a class where you tend to be able to draw more cards and stuff. I think it's pretty good. I actually think it's pretty good. Because you'd mulligan for it, etc. I'm going to say it's above average. I'm going to give it a 3.5. 3.5. Wait, how many more classes do we have left, by the way, chat? Is it just Warrior? Warrior and the neutrals? Correct? Correct? Probably. I think so. All right. The Dark Portal. 4 mana, draw a minion. If you have at least 8 cards in hand, it costs 5 less. No. It's a 1. I'll save us some time on this one. You're not going to have 8 cards in hand in Arena, and who knows what minion you're going to draw. So this is like a -20 in Arena. But it's 1 to 5, so I'm giving it a 1. We'll save time there. Enhanced Dreadlord, 8 mana, 5/7. Taunt, Death Rattle, summon a 5/5 Dreadlord with Lifesteal. A 5/7 taunt that spawns a 5/5 taunt with Lifesteal. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Oh, the second one doesn't have taunt. Oh, taunt and Death Rattle summon a 5/5 Dreadlord with Lifesteal. I don't see it, but yeah, it would probably say it has taunt. So if you're trying to kill the Warlock, you have to get through this, but then if you're killing him in the same turn, the lifesteals are relevant. But if you can't kill him in the same turn, then it matters a lot. It's still quite a bit of stats. I think it's okay. I'm gonna go with a 3.5. I don't think it's that bad. I think 3 point. I'm gonna go with 3.5. It's good because it has dreads in it. Thank you, chat. I can rely on you guys to pump me up on hour 15 of the review. That's very kind. That should be a copy pasta, honestly. It's not, but it should be. All right, hang in there. We're getting there. I think there are a few less neutrals, so we're getting through it. Okay, we're hanging in there. Everyone, stretch a little bit. Yeah. Stretch it out. Okay. All right, we're feeling good. Shadow Council. 1 mana. Replace your hand with random demons. Give them +2/2. This is like a meme card, but it can be nutty. Like, it can be really good. Because it's one of those things where ideally you probably don't want to play this card like on turn 1 because it can just destroy your curve. But if you play it, I would say in like the mid game and you just have like okay cards in hand, there's a good chance the stat increase is totally worth it. You think, dude, turn 1 it's OP? What if you don't? Like, how many cheap demons are there? Like, what is the? I don't know what the stat breakdown is of demons right now. Like, how likely if I play this on turn 1? How likely is it that I'm going to get a play for the next couple turns? Like, if it's a high chance, then this card will be broken, kind of like Embiggen, right? Embiggen in the early game. Yeah, that's true. It's not just Warlock demons; it's random demons. So there are a lot of cheap Demon Hunter demons. Yeah. That's true. Akinar's got the link here to like all the demons. Yeah, there's quite a few cheap ones, at least for Demon Hunter. Okay. I think this card will be above average then in Arena, I'd say. I think I'll say it's above average. How much? We'll go 4. Let's be believers in the memes. I'll go with a 4. I'm going to draft it. You sure as hell know I'm going to try. We're definitely going to go for it. And we'll know after, a few days how it feels. So let's believe. Believe in the memes. Dark Glare. 3 mana, 3/4. After your hero takes damage, refresh 2 mana crystals. So again, I'm kind of a broken record here, but it's a 3 mana, 3/4, which is a very good stat line, so it can't be bad. 2 mana crystals. So that means effectively you have to have it in play. So it's not like on turn 3 you can tap and play this, right? It's more of like turn 5 you can play it, or it survives. Actually, the most likely scenario is you play it on 3. it survives, and then you get like a free tap the next turn, which is quite good. And it's not just tap, right? If you take damage from other sources, like minions that damage your face or whatever, or Hellfire or something, it can actually give you tempo, which I think matters a lot. Because a free tap, to me, that's good. That's good, but that doesn't make it like a 5-star card or anything. But the fact that you can actually gain tempo on the turn if you take damage is relevant. I think it's going to be... I'm going to go with a 4. I think 4.5 is a little generous. I think most of the time you'll like play it on turn 5 and get a free tap with it or something. But it's good. It's definitely a good card. This one, I'm glad it's not common. Paladin the Breaker. 6 mana, 3/3. Battle Cry. Destroy a minion. If drawn this turn, instead destroy all minions except this one. So, it's kind of like... It's kind of like a, Vile Spine, right? But you don't have to combo it. It is a little bit worse stat line than something like Flick, but Flick is insane. I know people say, oh, Flick kills multiple things, but in Arena, generally, Flick is like kill one target and develop a body. But it's pretty similar to Flick. It's removal on a stick, and if you top deck it when you're in trouble, or like tap into it, it's Nether on a stick. Dude, if any of you snipe me, first off, don't snipe me. I hate it when you snipe me. If you snipe me with this card and I see your name, that's a permaban. You're never coming back from that. That's it. That's game over. And then you tap into this, baby, goodbye. See you later. You're watching one of the other 2 Arena streamers that are left. It's a 5, by the way. Let's not dwell on it too long. This card is 100% a 5. All right. Canrithad Ebonlock. 2 mana, 3/2. Your demons cost 1 less. Death Rattle Shuffle Canrithad Prime into your deck. So 2 mana, 3/2 with some upside. The Prime. 8 mana, 7/6. Battlecry. Summon 3 friendly demons that died this game. Depends on how good the demons are that died, right? Like, I think it's pretty likely you will have some demons die. If they're good demons, then this card is great. If they're weak demons, it's still okay. I'm going to say this is like a 3.5. Because even as long as you have some demons, it's fine, right? If you draw it and all of those things happen. And on turn 2, like this effect can be relevant. Or in the mid game to cheat out something a little bit earlier. I think 3.5 is fair. All right, we've made it to Warrior. You could say that we're all warriors for making it this far. All right. Sword and Board. 1 mana. Deal 2 damage to a minion, gain 2 armor. Deal 2 to a minion, gain 2 armor. It's good. It's good. It's kind of like Smite, like at least the old version of Smite. It can't go face, but you get 2 armor off of it. Yeah, I think it's solid. It's an execute activator, right? I think it's a fine card. I'm gonna say, it's like a 3. It's all right. Imprisoned Gonarg. 1 mana, 2/2 demon. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, equip a 3/2 axe. So the card is great in the early game. Like if you have it on turn 1, like you just win the early game. Because on turn, the interesting thing about this one is on you after the 2 turns, you have the weapon to use. So even though this won't be able to attack for additional turn, you still get the weapon that you can use immediately. How good is it? I'd rather have... What was the 1-mana 1/1 that spawns a 1/1? The N'Zoth card? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You got a 1/3 weapon, I think, and then you got a 1/1 pirate. Yeah, N'Zoth's First Mate. Like, I would take N'Zoth's First Mate over this every time. Because it comes down on 1 and you can use the weapon immediately. So, whatever I would rate that card, this card's worse than that, in my opinion. But I still think it's good. Because if you play in the mid game, it's only 1 mana, and then you get a weapon at some point, and that weapon will probably be useful. I'm gonna say it's a 4. I would consider N'Zoth like probably a 4.5 or maybe even close to a 5. So I'm gonna say this is a 4. Yeah, I mean it is important to note that it can make it weird with other weapons. So like if you have to plan with it, and then if you want to use another weapon, that can make it kind of weird. But I still think in general it's good. All right, Bone to a Raider. Oh, what? Why do we have this screenshot? They're the same card, right? This one's just like tilted to the side and almost impossible to read. Okay. A 3-mana 3/3 battle cry. If there is a damaged minion, gain +1/+1 and rush. +1/+1 and rush. Wow. This is good. This is good. There's a decent chance you'll have a damage minion, or you trade into something else and then make a damage minion. In Arena, most of the time, this will be a 4/4 with rush, I'd say. A 4/4 with rush for 3 is great. Like, just think about how good Gobble Glide tech was when it's been active. And that happens a lot. Not good on curve? What? A 4/4 with rush is insane on curve. You're saying that you might not be able to get the effect, but I think there's a decent chance you will. So, I think this is very good. Very, very good. I'm going to go with a 4.5. Yeah. All right, Corsair Cash. 2 mana. Draw a weapon, give it +1/+1. You know, the first thing about this card is you have to have a weapon. If you don't have a weapon, it's terrible, right? But giving a weapon +1/+1 is a huge deal. Excuse me. I think it's okay. I would say... I'm thinking about, like, Forge of Souls. What was Forge of Souls? Forge of Souls was 2 mana, draw 2 weapons. Is that correct? And I wasn't a huge fan of that card in Arena. So... I think it's okay. I'm gonna go with a 3, because if you draw it late, or if you already have a weapon equipped, it's kind of awkward. If you don't have any weapons, it's terrible. But I think it's okay. All right, Scrap Golem. Five mana 4/5 mech. Taunt. Death Rattle. Gain armor equal to this minion's attack. I'm not a huge fan of this card. It's a Yeti with Taunt. I guess it's... Okay, it's kind of like an Apple Bomb now when I think about it, right? It's very similar to an Apple Bomb. Except you always, or almost always, get more health, right? Because even if you're full health, it's better. It's not the exact same. This is better because you build up armor, right? Sometimes you just play it as that card on curve, and you wouldn't get any gain. So it's slightly better than that card, and I think that card's fine. These days, it's not that great, but But I think this is fine. Is it above average? Probably. I think I'd say this is a 3.5. Yeah, Yeti on turn 5 is okay because it's taunt. That seems fine. Bloodboil Brute. 6 mana. Is this correct? Is it 6 mana or is it 7 mana? I see this reduction. It freaks me out because this is from the Imgur album. 7 mana. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I had remembered. All right, 7 mana, 6/8. Rush. Costs 1 less for each damaged minion. Oh, that's why I chose the 6. Oh, no. Oh, no. This card's really busted. Like, really busted. Because even if you pay full price for it, it's decent. Like, a 7 mana 6/8 rush isn't that bad. And there are frequently times in Arena where there's like 3 or 4 damage minions on the board. If you have 4 damage minions, then it costs 3. I know cards like this, I always have to because I don't remember people talking about it too much. Maybe it's because it's more of a big deal in Arena, but this card is super stupid, isn't it? Like really dumb. Like really, really, really dumb, right? And it's, not just yours, it's just damaged. I'm going to say it's a 5. I think it's a 5. Initiative that will probably come down when it's overstated. I think it's a 5. All right. Bladestorm. 2 mana. Deal 1 damage to all minions. Repeat until 1 dies. So the first thing I think of when I see this card is Defile, and how much Defile broke my brain. And sometimes it would just be like, I don't know, I'd be like talking to chat or whatever, and then all of a sudden I have to figure out how to clear the board, and I'd mess it up, and then everyone would laugh at me. So I like the design. I think it's a really cool card. Like you're going to have to figure out the best way to do it so that nothing dies, so it keeps hitting, right? You should be on a lot of boards. You should be able to figure out a way for this to be quite good, right? It's not as good as Defile. It's not, but it's still quite good. How hard is it to set up? Deal 1 to all minions, repeat until... I guess the thing about it is in Arena, oftentimes there's like something that's like 1 health, right? And then that kind of... Unless you can kill that off first, it makes it a little bit tough. This can also... Yeah, this can be an assassin if you have nothing on the board, right? You play it? True. I think I'm going to say it's either a 4 or 4.5. I'll go with a 4. Because I think sometimes it will be a little bit tough to use, but I think it's good. It'll be fun to use too. All right, War Maul Challenger. 3 mana, 1/10. Battle Cry. Choose an enemy minion, battle it to the death. So obviously the way you want to use this card is you grab that 2/1 or 3/1 that's left on the board and take it out, and then you're left with a 1/7 after. That's a lot of health. 10 health is a lot. I think it's pretty solid. I think this card's above average. I'm gonna go with a 3.5. I think that's fair. I think on turn 3, this card will be quite good most of the time. Because even if you let's say you put it into a 3/3, right? Which is obviously not an ideal situation. It still kills it, and you're left with a 1/1 after. I think it's pretty good. All right. Bulwark of Azzinoth. Man, this is such an iconic shield from that expansion in WoW. 3 mana, 1/4. Whenever your hero would take damage, this loses 1 durability instead. It's bad. It's bad for Arena. Like it just doesn't fit. Like, you know, you play it and then it stops some attacks, but it's meant for Constructed, where you can do Control Warrior and it could be a thing. Sure, it can save you, but Ice Barrier can save you too, right? And Ice Barrier is not a good card. So I think it's pretty bad. I think it's pretty bad. I'm gonna say it's a 1. Was the Ice Block bad in Arena? Ice Block was terrible in Arena. Yeah, like it would have those moments where it saved you, right? And it was like, oh, but on average it was terrible. So yeah, it's hard to, like, those cards they're not consistently good. Yep. All right, Kargath Blade Fist, 4 mana, 4/4. Another one of the prime cards. Rush, Death Rattle, shuffle Kargath Prime into your deck. What does Kargath Prime do, you ask? Well, chat, let me tell you. Starting to go a little crazy now. It's an 8 mana 10/10 with Rush. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, gain 10 armor. An 8 mana 10/10 Rush is insane, and you get 10 armor. It's really good. What are the stats? So a 4/4 Rush isn't that great, I would say. It's okay. It's still okay. 4/4 is still actually pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, I would say this card should be either a 4.5 or a 5. I'm gonna say 4.5. Fine, we'll make it a 5, because everyone will be like, yeah, Druids never makes them 5. Fine, it's 5. We'll make it a 5. It's a 4.5 or a 5. It's great. It's a legendary though. We shouldn't focus too much on what the ratings are of these primes. You're not going to see them that often. You know, like they'll come out here and there, but like we're not going to see them that much. I say that, and then, you know, my first run, I play against 4 of them or something. Okay, Soulbound Ash Tongue, 1 mana, 1/4. Whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your hero. So, oh, by the way, we're into neutrals now. Yeah, neutrals. The bread and butter of Arena. This is where the most of the cards come from, right? I don't think this card is good. I think this card is meant to be used in Warlock, where you know, have synergy with dealing damage to your face. And you play it, and if it gets hit by a big minion, you take the damage. It's a little. I don't like it. It's good in aggro. I guess it could be kind of good in aggro. Sure, yeah, I could see that. I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 2. I think the fact that it can be used in aggro makes it okay. Oh, baby. This card is bonkers. Like, bonkers. Guardian Og Merchant. 1 mana, 2/1. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to a minion and give it Divine Shield. So, like, and I like the design of this card compared to something like Tyrant, where it just feels, you know, it feels. I guess we'll see how I feel in a few weeks, but like Tyrant, in my opinion, feels really bad to lose to again and again, because it's such an insane power level. This is really high power level, but I think it'll feel a little bit less bad to lose to. But we'll see. 1 mana, 2/1 battle. Oh, I already said it. So what do I think of it? I think it's great. So you can use it to ping off a minion, right? So like if you just need a ping, like a Cruel Task, it's kind of similar to Cruel Taskmaster in a way where it's got multiple ways it can be used. It can be used to ping something off. It can also be used to give Divine Shield to your own minion. So you play a 3/4, they play a 3/3, you use this on your guy, and then you get a free kill. You only take 1 damage on your guy. It's really good. It's either a 4.5 or a 5. We'll give it a 5. I think this was one of the neutrals for me that really stood out. Kind of like a neutral Argent Protector. So, yeah. It's pretty insane. Yeah, but they've got a 2/0 divine shield. Wait, what do you mean? 2/0 divine shield. You're trolling me? How could you? How could you? I can't handle being trolled. You must think this is like my job to be a Twitch streamer or something. Okay, anyhow, it's really good. It's really good. Rocket Og Merchant. 1 mana 2/1. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to a minion and give it rush. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it rush. So obviously it's worse than the other card that we just saw. This card's hard to think about. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting card. It's definitely an interesting card because being able to use a minion to trade into something is valuable. And again, it has the same effect where it can be a 1 mana 2/1 ping, which I think in Arena, that's what this card will be a lot, right? Like, it's just a flexible ping, a better Elven Archer, because it's just better stats. And it has the upside of the rush, the rush play if you draw it in like the mid game or you need it. You need to really kill something. I like it. I think it's good. I'm gonna give it a 4. It definitely I like these cards where they have like dual effects, where like you kind of figure out, even this one, even maybe more so, where how you want to use it. It'll be interesting. Synergy with dormant cards. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Ethereal Og Merchant. 1 mana 2/1. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to a minion and give it spell damage +1. Wow, we're getting premium 1-drops in this expansion for neutrals. Like, we're not getting... I haven't seen like a Tyrant type card, but these are all premium. Because, again, you can use it multiple ways. Like, I think the most common way will be a 1 mana 2/1 ping, which is good. But if you need a big clear, you can use on your own minion to get spell power, right? So it's really, really good. Kind of similar probably to the last card, I would say. Probably. I think a 4 is reasonable. Because I think most of the time you're going to be using these for 2/1 in the ping. All right. Rust Sworn Initiate. 2 mana 2/2. Death Rattle. Summon a 1/1 Impcaster with spell damage +1. 1/1 Impcaster with spell damage +1. Oh, it's annoying. It's annoying. Because like, if you can't full kill it and then they get to kill it off and then the spell damage, it's gonna be a card that, like, most of the time it's just like a fine 2-drop, right? A 2/2 that summons a 1/1 is fine. I think it's slightly above average. I'd say it's a 3.5. Yeah. Yep. Imprisoned Vile Fiend. 2 mana 3/5, Demon Tag, dormant for 2 turns, rush. So I think the fact that it's rush is a huge deal. So that means that you play it, the next turn, dormant 1, so it comes out of, you really only miss 1 turn of attacking with this card, right? You guys think it's bad? I don't think it's bad. I think, obviously, like, all the dormant cards, it's better if you have it early. It's not bad. I think it's pretty good. Because you only take 1 turn off with it. Dormant for 2 turns. So 1 turn, you play it, it comes back to you, then it'll be awake the next turn, right? Oh, no, you have like 1 extra turn, yeah. I wasn't thinking about it right. I still think it's okay. I still think it's okay. Wait, no, on 4 mana it goes off. Wait, so why is everyone correcting me? Huh? You play it on turn 2. Turn 3, it's not there. Turn 4, you have a rush card. Huh? I think it's pretty good. I'm going to say it's like a 3.5. It's a 3.5 or a 4. I'll go with a 3.5. 3.5 seems fair. All right. Bone Chewer Brawler. 2 mana, 2/3. Taunt. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain +2 attack. Huh. So a 2 mana, 2/3 taunt. And if you're like playing Mage or something, you can ping it. And with this card, you have to think about all those 1-drops we got too, right? So like these cards can turn it into 4 damage, right? Interesting. It's good. It's definitely above average. I think it's only probably a little bit above average, so I feel like 3.5 is appropriate again. Most of the time, it's a 2 mana, 2/3 taunt. Because it doesn't have enough health for it to take 2 hits to die most of the time. Overconfident Orc. 3 mana, 1/6 taunt. Well, at full health, this has +2 attack. So when I see this card, I instantly think of Tar Creeper, right? I think it's worse than Tar Creeper, but the question is like how much worse? Because once you like if you bump something into it, then all of a sudden it only has 1 attack. So it's significantly worse. Or if you ping it, then all of a sudden now it's like a 1/5. Good for Priest? Yeah. With Priest, I could see it being quite, but my review is all just in general. What do I think of the card? Is it above average? I kind of think it's still above average. Because a 1/6 isn't the worst, and they have to deal with it, right? Like pinging it or something takes mana. I'm gonna say, But there's so many 3/4s, and it doesn't trade well against a 3/4, right? Well, it can if you can't like ping it, because it goes in once, and then the 1 attack goes back in. I actually think this card's okay. I'm gonna go with a 3.5. I'm gonna say it's slightly better. Slightly above average. All right. Terror Guard Escapee. 3 mana, 3/7 demon. Battlecry, summon 3 1/1 huntresses for your opponent. Yeah. Well, from what I've seen in the past, we've had a lot of cards like this. Like the Raptor card from way back when, whatever that was, a 2/6, summon 3 1/1 Raptors. The 4-drop from this most recent expansion, the 3/9, they tend to be kind of bad. Like, because the idea is you play this and you combo with an AoE, which doesn't happen much in Arena. So I don't think it's going to be that good. 3/7 is a lot of stats, but I'm thinking of it basically as a 3/4, except my opponent's going to use those 1/1s. I think it's below average. I'm going to say it's a 2. I don't know if it's much worse than that, but I feel like 2 is appropriate. All right. Frozen Shadow Weaver. 3 mana, 4/3. Battlecry, freeze an enemy. So it reminds me a little bit of like Ice to Meet You stuff. I think Ice to Meet You was better because it was super cheap, but it's good. It's good. A fair stat line and the freeze effect. So I'd say it's above average. It's between a 3.5 and a 4. I think it's probably a little bit better than some of these other cards that I gave like 3.5 to. Like, I think I'd take it over this. Because it's one of those things where it's a 3-drop, but in the late game it has some extra utility. Where you still get that 4/3 down, but the freeze can be game-winning. So I'll go on the higher end of what I'm thinking. Give it a 4. I want to see what it looks like in golden. I hope it's like crystals, coming out of the hands, like gleaming or something. Rust Steed Raider, 5 mana, 1/8, taunt, rush, battle cry, gain +4 attack this turn. So the turn you play it, it's a 5 mana, 5/8. So it's kind of like Militia Commander, right? Like, and then the attack drops off after that. It's good. It's definitely good because you get a free kill on something most of the time, and then what the body that's left behind isn't really strong, but it's still taunt, so it's annoying. I think this one's a 4. It feels like a 4 to me. Good card. Disguised Wanderer, 4 mana, 3/3, Death Rattle, summon a 9/1 Inquisitor. 9 attack. It's so random. Like, why not 7? Why not 8? It's 9. Like, that's a lot of attack. I think it's pretty good. It's pro tip: don't kill it if you can't also ping the 9/1. Yeah, I think it's pretty good because if you're not a ping class, it can be really annoying to deal with. And how bad is a 3/3 that spawns a 9/1? I don't think it's that bad because it's a death rattle that you have to account for. Like, let's compare it to Silver Moon Guardian, right? A 3/3 Divine Shield. The fact that it's a death rattle is like better than a Divine Shield, I feel like, because you can't just like ping it off and then ignore it for a turn, which you normally do with a 4-drop. So, how good? I think it's above average. It's either a 3.5 or a 4. Oftentimes it will get pinged off on the back end or traded into. I'll go with a 3.5. But I'm interested to see how this card feels. All right. Scavenging Shavara. 6 mana, 6/3. Demon Tag. Battlecry deals 6 damage, randomly split among all their minions. Oh, I missed this card. This is the first time I've seen it. All other. All, though. That's a big distinction. It's not enemy. But it's minions. So that means that it's like if you play it and there's only one minion, it can do like 6 damage to one minion. Huh. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good because obviously you don't want to play when you're on the board, but 6 damage is a lot, and a 6/3 body isn't that bad because the 6 damage means it's still relevant at that stage in the game. I think it's pretty good. Above average. I would say it's like a 3.5. I don't know if I'd say 4 because you can't direct the damage. And it is a little weird if you have the board, but I think 3.5 is fair. All right. Here is... I would say this is one of the more broken neutrals in this set. So, Dragon Maw Skystalker. 6 mana, 5/6. Dragon Tag. Death Rattle, summon a 3/4 Dragon Rider. It's really good. It's really, really good. So if you compare it to like Cairn, it's better on the front side because a 5/6 versus a 4/5. The Death Rattle is a 3/4, which is worse than a 4/5. But it's similar stats. I think it's worse than High Main because High Main is aggressively statted, and then the 2/2s are harder to deal with than a 3/4. So, it's I don't think it's as good as High Main, but it's still really good. I'm gonna go with a 4.5. It's I don't think you'll be passing it much. Let's just say that. I think you'll be taking this card pretty much every time. Funny, Kibler called... Well, Kibler's... All of Kibler's reviews, you have to remember, Dausha is for Constructed, probably, right? So, for Constructed, I have no idea if this is good enough. But for Arena, it's definitely good enough. I know that. I know that. Okay. Burrowing Scorpion. 4 mana, 5/2. Battlecry. Deal 2 damage. If that kills the target, gain Stealth. So... it reminds me a bit of Fireplume Phoenix. Fireplume Phoenix, you have a 3/3 that does 2 damage. I would argue this is better than Fireplume Phoenix, because generally you use Fireplume Phoenix to kill something, and the 5/2 is a lot of damage. And if it's stealth and you can't clear it off, it can trade into a 4 or maybe even a 5-drop sometimes. This card is really good, and even if you aren't able to, I mean, I think most of the time you use it to kill stuff. Otherwise, you won't play it, right? I want to say it's a 5, but it's either a 4.5 or a 5. I think it's a nutty card. I'll go with a 5. Let's go out on the edge. 5. Boom. Yeah, it can also go face. It just seems really good. Yep. Rustsworn Cultist. 4 mana, 3/3. Battlecry. Give your other minions Death Rattle. Summon a 1/1 demon. I don't really see it. It's too understated. You're playing a 4 mana 3/3. And you would need to hit at least 2 other minions for it to be worth it, right? Soul of the Murloc and a stick. Yeah, and Soul of the... How was Soul of the Murloc in Arena? It wasn't awful. So one thing to note about this card, it's a lot better in certain classes. So like Shaman with Bloodlust. Druid is the one that it really stands out in. Like Druid... Like, this is probably up there. But overall, how is it just in general? I'd say it's probably a little bit below average. I'm going to go with a 2.5 because I think certain classes, it's quite good. But on average, it's below average. All right, Bone Chewer Vanguard. 7 mana, 4/10. Taunt. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain +2 attack. 4/10. 10 health is a lot. And there aren't many things that will be able to just go straight into it, right? A 6/10, pretty good too. I think it's good. I think it's quite good. Yeah, compare it to Ancient of War, right? Yeah, it's got 1 less attack on the first swing, but has 2 more after that. I think it's quite good. I'm going to say it's a 4. Yep. Supreme Abyssal. 8 mana, 12/12. Can't attack heroes. This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. It like, because you it's a bit slow, I'd say. Like it's not awful. Like there are definitely cards that are way worse than this, but you play it and it's not really a threat. If your opponent goes wide, you can't really punish them. So I don't think it's very good. It's good, like, I would say in Priest or something, it might be a bit better where you care more about controlling the board. You know, and protecting your life total, and it can lock out bigger guys. Obviously, yes, Silence with it is nutty. I'm gonna say it's a 2. I think it's definitely below average. All right, we're getting there, chat. We're getting there. We're almost through it, I think. It's been fun, though. I've enjoyed it, even though I'm kind of starting to lose my voice. Infectious Sporling. 1 mana, 1/2. After this damages a minion, turn it into Infectious Sporling. This card is is very interesting. So the thing you have to realize is how much it messes with your opponents. So if you're even just like a little bit ahead, this card is really good. Because you play like a 3-4 and then this dude on like turn 4 or whatever. If they play something that's just like a decent set of minion and you hit this into it, it neutralizes it, right? It's a card where and you can't ping it. So like if this had 1 health, I think it would be much worse. But the fact that it's 2 health means that it's going to mess up your opponent for like at least a turn. But then they have it. That is true. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I have to think about this. Because it's great until they get it. And you need to have something to kind of deal with it after. Huh. Deal with it? What? It'll be dead? Oh, after this damages. Yeah, it's after. No. Most of the time it will die. No. You guys are freaking me out more than I should. It's not that complicated. Like, it's gonna die. It's after. So like it'll go into something and die, and then they'll have a 1/2, right? But then still. No, but still they'll have. Hold on. This card is breaking my brain. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're late in the review. So you take this 1/2 and you throw into a Yeti, right? Your Sporling dies, but then their Yeti becomes a Sporling. And then you no longer have the Sporling to kill their Sporling. So now they've got the Sporling, and you kind of need a spell to kill it. Right? But another thing about this card, what if like you have another token? Then you can like maybe turn your token into another Sporling, so then you have a Sporling for the next turn for their next thing, right? Like think about it this way. Your Sporling kills a Yeti. Their Yeti is now a Sporling. You've got like a 2/2 on the board. Now use the 2/2 to go into their Sporling, and now you've got a Sporling for the next turn. You guys see? It goes on forever. I think it's actually pretty good. I think this card is actually quite good. It's gonna be weird, but I think it's quite good. How good is it? I'm gonna say Infectious Sporling is a 4. I think it's good. I think it's quite good. Okay. All right. Moving on. Oh man. I'm drafting this 100%. I'm gonna own with this card. You guys are gonna see. Okay. Blistering Rot. 3 mana 1/2. At the end of your turn, summon a rot with stats equal to this minion's. So this reminds me a little bit of, what was the name of the card? It was a 2 mana 1/2, summon a copy. At the end of your turn, right? But I think that was only the first turn. It was some kind of ooze card. Echoing Ooze, yeah. But it only did it for 1 turn, right? This one keeps doing it. Right? So if you don't buff it and it lives another turn, then you get another 1/2 after. But this costs 1 more mana. Yeah, it doesn't copy the card text. Yeah, I know. So it doesn't give you don't keep the Death Rattle or something. But the most likely way you'd make use of it is you buff it with like the priest +2/+3, or you kings it or something, right? So in those situations, it's like insane, right? And the copy also does it. Oh yeah. So like So like if you have two of them, then the next turn, if your opponent can't kill them, then you get then you now have 4 of them, right? Or, no. I'm guessing that's not how it works. I don't think that's how it works. Because it says summon a rot. I'm guessing the rot doesn't do that. The rot is probably like a different like type of minion, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. That makes way more sense. So only this one. I don't think there's anything that scrolls down on it for this one, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm gonna go with that idea. Okay, how good is this card? It's below average. Most of the time, the dreams that you have of it are not going to be realized. I would say it's a 2. It has some upside. Certain classes, it could be really good. Like in Paladin, I don't think this card is that bad, but on average, it's below. On average, it's below average. All right. Scrapyard Colossus, 10 mana, 7/7. Taunt, Death Rattle, summon a 7/7 Fellcracked Colossus with Taunt. 2 7/7 taunts. It's good. It's definitely good. It needs to be removed by, like a transform effect or something, or it's a lot of stats to go through. It will stop lethal a lot. How good is it? It's slow. It's really slow. You have to wait till turn 10 to play it. It's either a 4 or a 4.5. I'm just thinking about which one. It gets countered by the 1/2. Unplayable! It gets countered by the Sporling. How could you ever draft this card? What if your opponent has a Sporling? The game ends. Yeah, it also has the elemental tag as well. Yeah. I think it's good. I'm gonna say a 4 because I think it's too slow. Like you have to wait till turn 10 to play it. And then, if it gets removed, you just lose. So, I'm going to go with a 4. All right. Oh, that's what it looks like on the second end. Moarg Artificer. 2 mana, 2/4. All minions take double damage from spells. Very interesting card. It's one of those where it'll get generated off of something, and then you're like, oh no, like a lackey or whatever. And you're playing against the mage, and you're like, well, ripperoni me. I think it's very good, actually. I think this card is quite good because you play it. Generally, either you tempo it on 2, where it's overstated, it's a 2 mana 2/4, or you hold it. Like, let's say in the mid game, you hold it and play other things, and then you wait to combo with a spell. So I think it's really good. Obviously, your opponent can make use of it too, but you wait until you want to play a spell in the later game. So I think it's actually quite good card. And most of the time it will just be a 2 mana 2/4. So I'm gonna go with a 4. I think this card's good. Replicatotron. What is the best way to say this? Replicatotron? 4 mana 3/3. At the end of your turn, transform a neighbor into a copy of this. I don't see this working in Arena. I just don't. It's below average. Sure, you can use it to transform a token into it, but it's generally I don't think it's going to be very good. If you have to just play it on its own, it's a 4 mana 3/3. So yeah, I'm going to say I think it's actually quite bad. I'm going to go with a 1.5 because it also can mess up playing other minions after you play it. Because you play it, and then you want to play your 6/6 or something, and you can't place it next to it. It's just weird. I don't like it. Yeah, I mean, sure, Shaman or Paladin gets a buff, right? Sure, right? And that's why I think there are some cases where it can be okay, or just if you have a leftover 1/1. But in general, I don't like it. Waste Warden, 5 mana 3/3. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to a minion and all others of the same minion type. So, I would say most of the time this will be played as a flanking strike for 1 more mana, which isn't the worst. I think it's okay. I think that would be like 95% of the time. But sure, like it could kill a bunch of totems in theory. It could be used if you're playing a hunter and they have multiple beasts. It could be great. So I think it's an okay card. Like, how good is Flanking Strike on turn 5? I would say that's like an average card. So I'm going to say this one is a... I'm going to say it's an average card. I'm going to go with a 3. Because, yeah, you have to realize if you have, like, demons on your board, too, and they have demons, it's kind of weird, right? So, I'm going to go with a 3. Terror Gorefiend. 3 mana, 3/4. Battlecry. Destroy all friendly minions. Death Rattle, or resummon them with +1/+1. Yeah, that's not really going to be good. Right? Most of the time? Like, you can use it to kill off something that's taken a trade, and then it comes back with a little more tempo, but I don't think it's going to be good. Wrecked by Sporling. Can we stop taking every card and evaluating how it does against Sporling? You guys have to realize Sporling is the uber mega nuts. You don't beat Sporling. Everything loses to Sporling. It doesn't matter what card I play. Sporling owns it. All right? I'm gonna give it a 2. Maybe a 1.5. Nah, I'm gonna give it a 1.5. I changed my mind. 1.5. All right. Maeve Shadow Song. 4 mana, 4/3. Battlecry. Choose a minion. It goes dormant for 2 turns. Oh, man. That is a lot of tempo. All right? Dormant for 2 turns. And then again, that means when it comes out of dormant, it can't attack. Right? Because it's like summoning sickness, right? That's really good. Like, really, really good. Neutralize a taunt and develop a 4/3 when you're going for lethal, too, or something like that. I'm going to say, it's either a 4.5 or a 5. I feel like it's more of a 4.5. I think a lot of people are saying 5. I feel 4.5. But it's really good. It's still a little understated. It's a 4. If it was like a Yeti stats, it's a 5 for me. But it's a 4/3 for 4. It's like, I think it's a 4.5. Magtheridon. 4 mana, 12/12. Dormant. Battlecry summons 3 1/3 enemy warders. When they die, destroy all minions and awaken. It's a hard card to evaluate. Because, like, how easy will it be to kill the 1/3 enemy warders? Do you guys know, are the 1/3s, are they, do they have taunt? Or are they just on no tag? What do the warders look like? No? Okay. It summons it for your... It summons it for your opponent. No, it doesn't actually show it. Oh, wait, it does show it. Okay, it does show it. You guys actually knew. I didn't know. You guys knew. It has to summon it for your opponent, right? Otherwise, enemy warders, right? Enemy, yeah. Otherwise, it'd be stupid. Like, stupid broken. This is hard to think about. You actually use yeah. So it's like, yeah. I did earlier for some of them. The idea was using this site so that I could scroll through them a little bit faster, and we've been here for 5 hours or whatever, so that worked great. I don't know what to say about this card. I'm gonna say that it's not good, but it's not bad. So I'm gonna take a very even rating and say it's not a 1. No, this is not a 1 because you can combo it with, okay, if you have the board and you kill those things and you get 12/12. It's not a 1. I'm gonna say it's a 3. Perfectly in the middle. We'll figure it out when we play with it. Alar. Oh, this reminds me of that mount that you could get in that one place that was really cool looking in WoW. Ashes of Alar. 5 mana, 7/3 elemental. Death Rattle. Summon a 0/3 Ashes of Alar that resurrects this minion on your next turn. So important to note about this. Here's what the Ashes of Alar looks like. We're learning. Important to note about this one is they can kill it. So it's not like this is can live forever and keep rezzing. If they kill this, then it doesn't res. So it's a 5 mana 7/3, and then if they can't, like, so basically if you're playing against this card, you don't want to kill unless you can also kill this part, right? It's still pretty aggressively statted though. I don't think it's bad. I think it's probably a little above average. Let's go with a 3.5. I don't think it's bad. Just like many of the cards, it's much better if you're ahead. Okay, this is the last one. Kael'thas Sunstrider. 6 mana, 4/7. Every third spell you cast each turn costs 0. This one's easy. In Arena chat, this is a 1. It doesn't happen. It never works. But Dreads, I pulled it off one time against one guy like a week ago. It was pod. Yeah, okay, great. It's a 1. I don't care about what you pulled off that one time. It's a 1. Where I can't get my thing up. That's what she said. I can't get my 1/1 to show. My brain is gone. It's a 1. It's Uno. Can you give it a 1.5? No, it's a 1. It sucks. It's a 6 mana 4/7 is so bad. 1.5 for the body. You guys trying to talk me in? Are you guys fighting with me over the last card? Fine, because I'm a man of the people. It's a 1.5. Are you happy? A 6 mana 4/7 isn't the worst thing ever. 1.5, okay? 1.75. No, we're not changing anymore. It's a 1.5. Anyhow, all right. So we got through all the cards. I'm definitely excited. I'm always excited for new cards. New cards are fun. After going through the cards, I think there's quite a few fun ones. I was a little worried until today that we wouldn't have enough Discover, like Battle Cry and card generation cards, but we saw a few today, and that makes me excited because I love Battle Cry / or Death Rattle, give a random card, Battle Cry, Discover, etc. Those type of cards make a arena a lot more fun for me because it keeps things fresh. So it was yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As far as what classes I think are going to be good, that's something that people always ask. I feel like Demon Hunter is going to be busted in Arena. I think the 1 mana hero power is going to make it really, really nutty. I think that Priest, just with getting the changes to their classic cards, is going to be pretty good. And they got some pretty good ones in this set. So I'm a little partial to those. I don't think the Mage cards were that impressive to me, but Mage already has quite a few good cards. But yeah, we'll have to see. Some people talk about Paladonger. I don't know about Paladonger. Paladin, right now, it's really good. A lot of that's because a lot of GVG cards are insane for Paladin. I don't think there's the Paladin cards were that nutty. I hope Rogue is good. Some people are talking about Rogue. I enjoy, Rogue is probably my favorite class to play in Arena. I don't think Rogue is very fun or good right now, but yeah, I hope Rogue is good. All right. So that's in.